Chapter 279. This was the first time Xing Hui had heard someone else explain the War of Chaos in detail. He could not help but be shocked. There was a huge gap between the mighty figures and the saint realm. Every mighty figure was a figure who had cultivated divine powers. Having divine powers and not having divine powers were two completely different concepts. The difference was almost the same as the difference between the saint body of a prominent divine expert and the green netherworld realm cultivator. With such a huge difference in strength, the mighty figures still could not gain any advantage in the War of Chaos. The ability given by the Chaos level. How does the War of Chaos determine the winner? The Son of Chaos has 6 basic abilities: recovery, comprehension, luck, talent, personal space, and appraisal. Later on, there are also abilities such as advancement, holy, divine protection, resurrection, incarnation, teleportation, and so on. The War of Chaos is a battlefield created in the Chaos Temple. 10 people from 2 major organizations of chaos can fight there. Every battlefield is different, and no one can predict what will happen. However, the battlefield itself often has 3 major variables and countless minor variables. If one can seize the initiative in these variables, one can quickly turn the tide of the battle. Heaven's Inquisition took out a jade talisman. Since the establishment of the Chaos Temple, countless wars of chaos have broken out. This is the battlefield layout of the 14 wars of chaos recorded. Xing Hui took the jade talisman from Heaven's Inquisition and quickly scanned it with his consciousness. When he saw the first battle, he could not help but be stunned. One of the 3 major variables is to obtain a Qianghua orb. After obtaining the Qianghua orb, one can install it in one's own altar and activate the power of the orb, which can increase everyone's combat power dramatically. There is another variable, which is to obtain an ancient sword forging recipe. Collect the materials to forge the sword and use divine blessing to forge a divine weapon, which can immediately reverse the situation. After a glance, he immediately turned his attention to the next War of Chaos. The major variable in this War of Chaos was an army of the dead. They had to rely on resurrection. Whoever could resurrect this army of the dead would gain the upper hand. Then, Xing Hui turned to the next War of Chaos. The variable in this War of Chaos was a formation. The formation needed 18 people to activate, but each of the 2 major chaos organizations only had 10 people. In order to activate the formation, they had to rely on incarnation to split themselves into 2, as for incarnation, don't even think about it. In the Chaos Temple, everyone was like an ordinary person. At most, they had the physique of an awakening realm cultivator. If they dared to split themselves in 2, they would immediately die and be eliminated. Xing Hui scanned the battlefields one by one. The battlefields of the War of Chaos were all different from each other, and there were all kinds of strange variables. The only thing they had in common was that in order to turn these variables to their advantage, they had to rely on the power of skills bestowed upon them by the Chaos level. The higher the requirement of the Chaos level, the more significant the effect of the variables obtained. Doesn't a War of Chaos usually only take 2 or 3 days? From what I've seen in these records, there were people who used resurrection and other skills several times. Could it be that their resurrection skills have all been upgraded to the 10th level? Xing Hui looked up and asked after flipping through the records for a while. This is another advantage of the Chaos level. When you enter the battlefield of the War of Chaos, the interval between the use of all skills will be reset. The extent of the reset is related to the Chaos level and the level of your skills. Take the Resurrection skill, which has a cooldown of 100 years, for example. If your Chaos level reaches the 100th level and is upgraded to the 10th level, it will not be difficult to shorten the cooldown to 0 on the battlefield of the War of Chaos. At that time, you will be able to pull up an extremely powerful undead army and easily defeat the 10 opponents. I see, Xing Hui nodded. In the War of Chaos, the winner will not have any advantage. On the contrary, they will have to consume a token of the world of battle. As for the loser, it will be miserable. The chaos level of everyone in the organization will be stripped in one fell swoop. This kind of deprivation can be said to be extremely thorough. Even if you have previously opened up a personal space and stored many spiritual items of heaven and earth in your personal space, they will disappear the moment your chaos level is stripped and your personal space is closed. Xing Hui could not help but be shocked when he heard this. If a war of chaos broke out between Tianqiong and other top chaos organizations, wouldn't he be reduced to a situation where he had nothing if he was defeated? Because of the characteristics of the war of chaos, many forces will often prepare a large number of spiritual items in order to adjust everyone's chaos level at the moment of the war. The other sons of chaos will also hurriedly move their precious items out of their personal spaces. In this way, if they are defeated, their identity as sons of chaos will be stripped, but their accumulation over the years can still be preserved. Xing Hui nodded and motioned for Heaven's Inquisition to continue. According to the information I have deduced from the ancient books, 180 years ago, two powerful chaos organizations, the Moon Palace and the Star Palace, broke out in a large-scale war of chaos. Although this war of chaos could not be compared to the war of chaos between Tianqiong and Shenfan not long ago, it was not much inferior. However, what outsiders did not know was that the Moon Palace had been plotting against the Star Palace for a long time. They had secretly planted a chess piece of chaos level 25 in the Star Palace and had a personal space. At the moment when the war of chaos broke out, the Moon Palace chess piece placed in the Star Palace took all the Tao aura that the Star Palace used to prepare for the war of chaos into his personal space. Then, he used the incarnation technique to steal and escape. As a result, the war of chaos, which was originally evenly matched, was decided in an instant and the Star Palace suffered a crushing defeat. The moment before the Star Palace suffered a crushing defeat, the resentful swordsman of the Star Palace immediately found the real body of the Moon Palace chess piece and killed it. As a result, the war of chaos that had been carried away by the chess piece's incarnation became a mystery. Are you saying that Yu Yao's chess piece went to the Heavy Truth continent? The Tao-carrying items that the Star Palace used to fight the war of chaos were also left on the Heavy Truth continent. Xing Hui immediately understood something. According to my calculations, the most likely place he hid those Tao-carrying items was the Heavy Truth continent. He knew that the Star Palace was going to be defeated, and his primal chaos grade was going to be taken away, so he must have taken these Tao-carrying items out of his personal storage as soon as he landed on the Chongjian continent. Therefore, these Tao-carrying items should have been preserved. I'm curious why Yu Yao's chess piece didn't run back to Yu Yao, but went to the Heavy Truth continent instead. Obviously, he was greedy. How many people could remain unmoved in the face of hundreds of Tao-carrying items from a first-rate chaos organization that was used to fight the war of chaos? Xing Hui nodded. I believe you, but the Heavy Truth continent is so big. Where would Yu Yao's chess piece put those Tao-carrying items? You'll have to find them yourself, Pak Hui. A continent? Are you joking with me, Sir Heaven's Inquisition? Xing Hui's eyes glinted coldly. How big was a continent? Trying to find a place where Tao-carrying items might be stored on a continent was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Therefore, strictly speaking, this information had no value at all. Please forgive me, Sir Pak Hui. If I could accurately find the location of those Tao-carrying items, would I still sell this information to Sir Pak Hui in exchange for Tao-carrying items? Even if the Heavy Truth continent is millions of kilometers away from the eastern wilderness, I would still find a way to go there and take those Tao-carrying items for myself. Heaven's Inquisition asked. Qing Su could not help but fall silent when he heard that. Indeed, if Heaven's Inquisition really knew the exact location, he wouldn't sell it for just 10 Tao-carrying items. He probably wouldn't even sell it for 100 Tao-carrying items. It seems Yu Yan has most likely obtained that inheritance. If I can find Yu Yan, I'll be able to find the location of those Tao-carrying items. Xing Hui thought to himself. He waved at Heaven's Inquisition and said, let's leave it at that. Although the chances of finding those items are slim, I don't want this information to be known by everyone. Of course, Sir Pak Hui, please believe in our professional integrity. Heaven's Inquisition smiled. Very well. Tsing Hui said. Heaven's Inquisition didn't delay any longer. After completing the transaction with a piece of information that might or might not be confirmed, he bowed slightly and disappeared from Tsing Hui's personal space. After Heaven's Inquisition left, Tsing Hui flipped through the information given by Heaven's Inquisition. At the same time, he sent a message to Xian Long, asking him to come as soon as possible. 2 hours later, a stream of light flashed in his personal space, and Xian Long appeared in front of Tsing Hui. Alliance leader, you're looking for me. Tsing Hui looked at Xian Long and asked in a deep voice, how did you get to know Yuyan? Back then, I obtained the inheritance of the Son of Primal Chaos by chance. When I entered the Primal Chaos Temple for the first time, I wasn't used to it. Yuyan gave me some pointers. We've known each other since then. Oh. Tsing Hui's eyes lit up. No wonder Yuyan, who was so cautious, knew Xian Long. It was because Yuyan saw Xian Long's appearance when he entered the Primal Chaos Temple for the first time that she felt a little more at ease with him. In other words, you've known each other for several years? Yes. Good. I want you to carefully recall all the conversations you had with Yuyan over the years. You can't let go of any clues that might involve her location and identity, including the way she spoke. Xian Long was startled. He understood that Tsing Hui wanted to find Yuyan's identity in the real world. He didn't hesitate to tell him everything. Although Yuyan had some friendship with him, due to Yuyan's strong vigilance, their friendship wasn't very deep. As for Tsing Hui, Yuyan was someone who could decide his life and death, honor and disgrace. Naturally, he couldn't afford to be careless. It was clear at a glance who was more important. After listening to Xian Long's narration, Tsing Hui continued to flip through the detailed information about the heavy truth continent he had obtained from the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. The most precious of all the information was the information about the top experts. If it was just some well-known local customs, it wouldn't be worth much. Therefore, some basic knowledge was recorded in great detail in this information. For 3 whole days, Tsing Hui let Xian Long narrate for 3 whole days. After confirming that Xian Long didn't miss anything during the whole process, he turned his attention back to the information from the Pavilion of Heavenly Secrets. After 3 more days of deduction, Tsing Hui had already determined the area where Yuyan lived in a small area. It's here, the territory of the ancient Sacred Gate, a first-rate sect of the Heavy Truth Continent. Chapter 280. 6 Sacred Sword Sect. It was one of the sects within the Venerable Heaven Sect's sphere of influence. It was said that their ancestor was a peak expert of the Venerable Heaven Sect and was considered a subsidiary sect of the Venerable Heaven Sect. At this moment, in a mountain latrine about 60 kilometers away from the 6 Sacred Sword Sect, a powerful aura was constantly fluctuating, causing Sun Qi, who was cultivating, to be shocked. The next moment, he seemed to have thought of something and immediately rushed out. He stood there with a cautious expression and looked at the void in front of him that was constantly gathering wind and cloud Yuan Qi. His face was filled with shock, reverence, and bewilderment. Wang, Wang. As the Yuan Qi condensed in the void, a figure gradually appeared. When the Yuan Qi dissipated, Tsing Hui, who was using the appearance of Dong Yang, had already appeared outside the latrine. Junior Sun Qi of the 6 Sacred Sword Sect greets Senior. Welcome back to the real world. Sun Qi respectfully bowed towards Tsing Hui, who was formed by the Yuan Qi. His expression was filled with reverence. Transformation Technique. This was a powerful being who had the transformation technique. Among those who could raise their chaotic realm to rank 25 and above, a few of them were powerful beings who had cultivated divine abilities. As for the remaining ones, even if they had a rank 25 chaotic realm, they would not dare to reveal it. Without the protection of divine abilities, a moment of carelessness would lead to a fatal disaster due to their chaotic realm. Therefore, those who dared to use the transformation technique in the outside world were not easy to deal with. Such a powerful figure, not to mention a direct disciple of the Six Sacred Sword sect, even the supreme elders and sect master of the Six Sacred Sword sect would not be able to meet him in their lifetime. As the Yuan Qi gathered, Xing Hui moved his body slightly. Raising the transformation realm to the true Qi realm is the limit. If I want to have a spirit refining realm transformation realm, I will inevitably fall into a weakened state for 1 or 2 months. If I want to raise the transformation realm's battle strength to the spirit and Qi unity realm, I'm afraid that in the next 1 or 2 years, I won't be able to completely get rid of the weakened state. Xing Hui moved slightly and sensed in his heart. Not bad. This transformation realm was different from the previous one. It was a transformation realm with a certain battle strength. Even though his cultivation base was only at the genuine energy realm, he could still freeze the consciousness and thoughts of an expert at the unity of divine energy realm by relying on his spiritual level 61 and the powerful power of the torch dragon sword intent. As for the green hell realm experts, in the end, he did not pour all of his spirit into this incarnation. Slowing down the thought process of an elite in the realm of unity of spirit and Qi was already his limit. He did not have the strength to go any further, unless he completely disregarded the weakening effects of the incarnation technique and sent down an even more powerful incarnation. Sun Qi. Xing Hui knew who the person in front of him was, but he still asked, which part of the Chongzhen continent is this? Reporting to Senior, this is the Thousand Beast Mountain range of the Chongzhen continent. The biggest force in this area is the Reverend Heaven sect. The place where Senior is currently at is the Six Saint Sword sect, a subsidiary force of the Reverend Heaven sect. It is more than 3,400 kilometers away from the Reverend Heaven sect. Reverend Heaven sect. Xing Hui's eyes lit up. He didn't expect Sun Qi to be in the revered Heaven sect. This saved him the trouble of running around. However, it was reasonable when he thought about it. The Celestial Venerate sect was a renowned first-rate sect on the Chongzhen continent. The strongest expert in the sect was a Class 10 Son of Chaos at the Blue Netherworld realm. With the power of the Saint technique, he could fight against prominent holiness experts. Although it was not the most powerful sect on the Chongzhen continent, it was still one of the top sects and occupied a vast territory. It made sense for Qing Su to use Sun Qi's mental imprint to directly enter the Celestial Venerate sect's territory. That is the Thousand Beast Mountain range. Qing Su raised his head and gazed towards an endless black line at the end of the horizon that seemed to have no end. It is the Thousand Beast Mountain range. There are a large number of fierce beasts and spirit beasts living in the Thousand Beast Mountain range. It is difficult to enter unless one is a top expert, Sun Qi introduced respectfully. At this point, he seemed to remember the true identity of the Almighty in front of him and hurriedly added, of course, for Senior, the small Thousand Beast Mountain range is like flat ground. The trees in this mountain range are quite similar to the ancient forest. It seems that the place of the transaction between Yu Yan and me is in this ancient forest. I only gave her a day. She is a true Qi realm cultivator. How far can she go in a day? Even if she has a flying sword, she can only fly 3,000 to 4,000 kilometers. Inferring from this, I can roughly guess the range of her activities. Xing Hui did not reply to Sun Qi, but his heart was constantly thinking, although Yu Yan and I have met once, she changed her appearance. Unless she stands in front of me, I will definitely not be able to distinguish her true identity. However, she is a true Qi realm cultivator and has awakened the bloodline of a sacred beast, the four-eyed bird. Adding on the corpse of the sacred beast, the four-eyed bird, she will be able to achieve meteoric success in a short time. As long as she can reach the spirit and Qi realm, it will be much easier. The heavy reality continent was not the eastern wasteland. There were very few spirit and Qi realm cultivators, and they were almost on par with the prominent divine stage cultivators in the eastern wasteland. Although they were slightly inferior to the prominent divine stage cultivators in the eastern wasteland, they could still be called overlords of a region. It had to be known that even the revered Heaven sect, which was faintly at the top level, had less than 100 unity of spirit realm experts in the sect. This included the experts of the sect's subsidiary forces like the Six Sacred Sword sect. The longer the prime battle incarnation descends, the greater the consumption of essence, chi, and spirit, and the longer the period of weakness. At that time, I considered that I did not know where I would descend, and it would be convenient to have some strength with me, so I sent down a prime battle incarnation. Now it seems that it was somewhat unnecessary. However, Tsing pondered for a while, and his gaze had already landed on Sun Chi. Sun Chi, I have something that I need someone to do for me. If you can do it properly, you will not be lacking in benefits. Hearing this, Sun Chi's face was filled with uncontrollable ecstasy. Almighty. This senior in front of him was a legendary Almighty. As long as he could complete this matter for this Almighty, even if he were to reward him with a little treasure, it would definitely be able to bring him endless benefits. Opportunity. A great opportunity. Immediately, Sun Chi knelt on the ground without hesitation. Please give me your orders, senior. As long as you give the order, I will definitely complete the task for you even if I have to exhaust all my strength and break all my bones. Tsing Hui looked at Sun Chi, who was in front of him, and said, All right, I need to find someone in this area, but this matter is confidential, and it's not good to make a big fuss about it, so I can only rely on you to do it. However, your current strength is too weak. What kind of chi do you cultivate? Senior, I have awakened the bloodline of the holy beast White Tiger, and I cultivate the Saint Grade 7th Metal Chi. It's actually the White Tiger, one of the 6 Saint Beasts. Tsing Hui was somewhat surprised. Sun Chi hurriedly said, I obtained the inheritance of a son of chaos by chance. Other than the chaos grade and cultivation method, I also obtained some resources. I relied on those resources to temper myself and awaken the bloodline of the White Tiger. After exhausting many resources, I barely managed to push the grade of my chi to the Saint grade. Tsing Hui nodded. When he first looked at Sun Chi, he did not sense too much of the Saint grade chi on him. The reason was that after reaching the true chi realm, the remaining support was not enough for Sun Chi to continue cultivating. Although he had reached the late stage of the true chi realm, the quality of his chi had dropped by a large margin. If he wanted to cultivate Gang Chi, there was a 99% chance that it would be reduced to spirit grade Gang Chi, and it would be difficult for him to unleash the power of the holy beast White Tiger bloodline. Fortunately, he had met Tsing Hui. Give me your natal spiritual imprint and work for me, and I will give you a great fortune. Natal spiritual imprints were usually only controlled by sword wielders of the Chaos organization. With such a spiritual imprint, great powers with the incarnation technique would be able to lock onto his position at any time and send down an incarnation. This was equivalent to his life and death being in Tsing Hui's hands. However, in the face of Tsing Hui's request, Sun Chi did not hesitate at all. Instead, he offered up his natal spiritual imprint without hesitation. It is this junior's fortune to be able to work for senior. Very good. Keeping the spiritual imprint, Tsing Hui directly took out a rank 7 divine weapon. This sword is called White Tiger Heaven Chopping Sword, a rank 7 divine weapon. It contains the pure White Tiger sword intent. I can see that although you have reached the realm of true chi, your sword intent has yet to be formed. Next, use this sword to polish your spirit and strive to form your sword intent as soon as possible. As for your true chi, don't cultivate it for the time being. Not long after, I will find you a portion of White Tiger's blood to help you step into the spirit refining realm. In the time that I am not here, I need you to quickly build up a certain amount of power. Rank 7 divine weapon. Seeing Tsing Hui take out such a precious treasure, Sun Chi felt his brain go blank for a moment. After a while, he said with a face full of joy, many thanks for senior's generous gift. With this divine weapon, junior will definitely be able to look down on others. The competition for the position of 6 Sacred Sword Sect's Vice Sect Leader will be coming in 4 months. With this divine weapon, I will definitely be able to obtain the position of Vice Sect Leader. With the position of Vice Sect Leader, it will be easy to develop a certain amount of power. Oh. That's not bad, but if you use this divine weapon to face your enemies, it will only bring about a fatal disaster. I will bestow this divine weapon to you. This divine weapon is called the Dust Separation Sword. It is a high-grade Tier 5 divine weapon, but its special characteristic is that it conceals itself. In the eyes of outsiders, this divine weapon is at most comparable to a Tier 3 divine sword. If you use it carefully, it will definitely help you repeatedly achieve miraculous results. In addition, I will also bestow you a Tier 5 flying sword. If you encounter danger to your life, you can use it to escape. Xing Hui gave out treasures one after another, causing Sun Qi to be dazzled. He was deeply rejoicing that he did not hesitate to surrender. Many thanks, Senior. Sun Qi has nothing to repay you with. I can only do my best to complete the task that Senior has given me. And, remember, I need to find a female around 25 years old. Her cultivation is at the middle stage of the true Qi realm. She has awakened the four-eyed bird's blood and has cultivated holy rank true Qi. In addition, I can feel a sharp Qi from her body. She should also be a swordsman. Female, 25 years old, middle stage of the true Qi realm, four-eyed bird's blood. Sun Qi recorded it down one by one, not daring to be careless in the slightest. He knew that whether this task was completed or not, and how well it was completed, would directly determine his future fate. Whether or not he could become a person above others would depend on whether or not he could grasp this opportunity. Chapter 281. Hundreds of Taoist rhymes. A gleam flashed through Qing Su's eyes. Currently, the Fortune Jade could still provide him with a little Taoist rhyme every day. However, when his chaos level reached level 30 and the Chaos Treasure Pavilion opened, he would lose a little Taoist rhyme every day. The amount of Taoist rhyme he gained would be equal to the amount of Taoist rhyme consumed. In this case, obtaining Taoist rhyme items from other channels would become crucial. The Taoist rhyme items I've obtained so far are not much. Even with the Fortune Jade, the number of Taoist rhyme items I've obtained is still not much. Top forces like Sword Shadow, Celestial Vault, and Heavenly Tao often directly or indirectly control many continents. On average, each continent can provide them with hundreds of Taoist rhyme points every year. Although these Taoist rhymes may need to be evenly distributed to the higher-ups of these top forces, in summary, it's still a lot. If a true top expert can dominate an entire continent, then the income will truly be endless. Xing Hui thought to himself. However, dominating an entire continent was just wishful thinking. Just looking at the Eastern Wilderness, there were Sword Shadow and Heavenly Tao, two of the top 10 chaos organizations in the Chaos Temple. As for the remaining forces like the Green Lotus Sword Sect, Giant Dragon Mountain Range, and Dharma Sect, who knew what kind of backing they had? Perhaps they were not as strong as Sword Shadow and Heavenly Tao, but they were probably not too far off. Xing Hui reckoned that even some forces on the heavy reality continent would have the shadow of chaos organizations behind them. The only difference was the strength of those chaos organizations. In the future, if I want to form a force to encompass the Taoist rhymes of the various continents in the world, I will inevitably have to deal with those chaos organizations. There may even be conflicts. When these conflicts occur, if it's in Celestial Vault's interest, they may stand by my side. If it's not in Celestial Vault's interest, Xing Hui fell silent for a moment. A long time ago, Blazing Glory had mentioned to him that he should prepare early to form a chaos organization. At that time, he did not have such thoughts. But now, he was afraid that he would have to consider it. At least in the future, when competing with other chaos organizations for control of the continent, or even when the Chaos War finally broke out, he would not be in a difficult situation. With this thought in mind, Xing Hui did not put it into action. High-level Sons of Chaos had lofty statuses in the Chaos Shrine. With his current status, it wasn't easy to rope in a high-level son of chaos. If he really wanted to plan to form a chaos organization, he would have to wait until he reached chaos level 31st. Only by opening the Primal Chaos Treasure Pavilion at the 30th level would one be able to recruit those peak experts. Otherwise, why would those peak experts at the higher levels of the Primal Chaos realm work for you? Level 30. 4 or 5 months. Soon, Xing Hui closed his eyes. This time, he had sent his prime battle avatar to the Chongjian continent, and although he did not fight anyone and did not stay for long, he was still in a weakened state for a full 24 days. After that, he had to recuperate to get rid of that painful and weak state before continuing to comprehend the third transformation of the Golden Light technique. Just like that, another month passed. Xing Hui's essence, energy, and spirit had recovered to their peak, and he was almost done comprehending the third transformation of the Golden Light technique. Because he still had to help the Jin Wu religion, Xing Hui did not continue to use the avatar technique to trade with others. Instead, he took out the broken sword he had obtained from the 10,000 Swords Peak and used his primordial spirit chi to activate the sword intent within the broken sword to temper his mind. His mental power had reached the 61st level, and since no one was controlling the sword intent in the broken sword, even if the impact on his spiritual world was great when it was drawn out, he could barely hold on by relying on his primordial spirit chi and the recovery ability of the 61st level. After exhausting a strand of primordial spirit chi, Xing Hui immediately focused all his energy on recovering the damaged mental world that had been tempered by the sword intent. He then rebuilt it again, making his mental world even more stable and powerful. Level 6 recovery characteristics are truly extraordinary. Once I reach level 29, should I consider raising my recovery characteristics to level 7? Xing Hui muttered to himself. He estimated that if his recovery characteristics could reach level 9, the recovery effects would be comparable to having primordial spirit chi at all times. If he reached level 10 and mutated a second time, even if his mind was indestructible, as long as the enemy did not completely destroy his consciousness with a single blow, he would be able to struggle to recover no matter how severe his injuries were. It was like rebirth from a drop of blood in his body. As long as his body was not completely destroyed, even a drop of essence blood would be able to reconstruct his body. My mind has reached level 64. Xing Hui sensed the state of his mind, and in the next moment, he took out another strand of primordial spirit chi. Bzzz. At this moment, the jade tablet outside Xing Hui's cultivation room rang. There was something important to report to him. Frowning, Xing Hui waved his hand and opened the door to his cultivation room. He looked with some dissatisfaction at the Maha sect master, who was waiting respectfully outside. What's the matter? Alliance master, the 2 Hunyuan Heaven sect true disciples you ordered to attack Golden Edge Island were unfortunately killed on the front lines. Killed in battle? Xing Hui's expression did not change. He had arranged for Bei Zhonghua and Erisher Yudo to be at the front lines to attack Golden Edge Island with the intention of sending them to their deaths. If they died in battle, then they died in battle. There's no need to report such a small matter to me. Then, as if remembering something, he said slowly, Golden Edge Island dared to kill true disciples of our Hunyuan Heaven sect. Their crimes are unforgivable. Order them to surrender immediately, or the Sea Calming Hall will move in full force and trample over Golden Edge Island. I've come to report this matter to you, Alliance Master. That loose cultivator Xiantai of Golden Edge Island has an impressive cultivation base and shocking sword skills. Heavenly Devil Cult Master, Celestial Strength Grand Sage, and I couldn't take him down even when we worked together. We've suffered many casualties during our attack on Golden Edge Island, and even 2 of our elders fell to loose cultivator Xuantia's sword. Alliance Master, do you think you should act personally? If the 3 of us can't take him down, can't we find a 4th, 5th, or 6th person? If I have to personally deal with such a small fry, what use are you? Xing Hui's expression turned cold. Stand down. How dare you disturb my cultivation over such a small matter? Yes, yes, yes. This subordinate will think of something right away. Maha sect master hurriedly retreated after being reprimanded by Tsing Hui. Tsing Hui shook his head as he watched Maha sect master leave. His goal in establishing the Life Alliance was to plunder Dao-bearing items from overseas. Now that he had collected most of them, he would probably only be able to collect a dozen or so items of Dao-bearing each year. The Life Alliance's importance in his heart had dropped by a notch. Under such circumstances, he naturally wouldn't do everything himself. Attack Golden Edge Island and suffer heavy losses? So what if they were lost? He wasn't the Life Alliance's babysitter who had to protect it in the face of a powerful enemy. After Maha sect master left, Tsing Hui gathered another strand of primordial spirit chi in his hand. 5 strands of primordial spirit chi cost him 83 Dao-bearing. He needed to convert them into his own strength as soon as possible. He drew out another strand of primordial spirit chi. 4 days later, Tsing Hui drew out the 3rd strand of primordial spirit chi, then the 4th, the 5th, just like that. For 2 whole months, the will of Qing Su's mind became even sharper under the tempering of the broken sword. Even the sword intent from the awakening of the shining dragon bloodline seemed even sharper. The only drawback was that his mind was constantly being scattered and became extremely unstable. Tsing Hui would have to work hard for a long time to come. It was already beyond his ability to make his mind grow by leaps and bounds. Mind, 73rd level. Qing Su sensed the state of his mind. In the next moment, he focused his attention on the candle dragon blood again. Previously, because his mental strength was not strong enough, he could not perfectly utilize the energy contained in the torch dragon's blood, so he temporarily stopped cultivating the 5th level of the Torch Dragon Sutra. But now, his mental strength had reached the 73rd level. Not to mention completing the 5th level of the Torch Dragon Sutra, it would not be difficult for him to take another step forward and step into the 6th level of the Torch Dragon Sutra. As the energy contained in the Torch Dragon blood was absorbed and refined by Tsing Hui with the help of the roaming dragon blood transformation powder, his chi and blood were once again transformed from the inside out by the Torch Dragon blood. His compatibility with heaven and earth was constantly improved. Many times, he even felt like he was the darling of heaven and earth. With a slight movement, endless wind and clouds would follow him, and his momentum was extremely mighty. Dragon rain, when a true dragon flew, its compatibility with heaven and earth energy would cause wind, clouds, thunder, and lightning, let alone a peak divine beast like the Torch Dragon. In the blink of an eye, another 2 months had passed. At this moment, in the void hundreds of kilometers away from Moon Lake Island, Tsing Hui was like a beam of golden light that whizzed past. As he flew, he stirred up the essence of heaven and earth within dozens of kilometers to form a huge tornado that followed him closely and set off huge tsunamis on the sea below. The peak of the green netherworld realm. The control of the essence of heaven and earth is really unbelievable. Any green netherworld realm expert only needs to release his aura to cause a huge natural disaster that engulfs dozens of kilometers. This ability is almost unimaginable for ordinary people. Tsing Hui flew for a while and gradually stopped himself. He had already grasped the various techniques of the peak of the green netherworld realm expert. Next, was to delve deeper into it. Unfortunately, I wasted quite a bit of the Torch Dragon's blood when I was charging into the intermediate stage of the Azure Nether Realm at the initial stage of the Azure Nether Realm. Coupled with the fact that the effect of the Torch Dragon's blood gradually weakened as I refined it, otherwise, this portion of Torch Dragon's blood would really be able to push me into the prominent saint realm. Tsing Hui felt that it was a pity. However, this regret lasted for less than half a breath before it was pushed out of his mind. This portion of Torch Dragon blood might be able to help him enter the prominent divine stage, but there was a 90% chance that it could only help him forge a saint battle physique. There was less than a 10% chance that he could form a divine battle physique. And the prominent saint battle body was of utmost importance to cultivators, it could be said that the quality of the saint physique would directly determine the strength of the 5 stages from the prominent divine stage to the golden core stage. Even the strength of the divine abilities that were derived in the future would be closely related to the saint physique. Therefore, Tsing Hui would not easily attempt to break through to the prominent divine stage if he was not 100% confident. As for after the prominent divine stage, other than the true energy stage, which required more effort, the remaining transformative stage, ceaseless stage, and golden core stage were no longer obstacles for him to advance. Chapter 282. Swish. Tsing Hui landed on Moon Lake Island, which was the headquarters of the Life Alliance. As soon as he landed, a guard welcomed him. Alliance leader, the Jin Wu religion has sent someone over again. Again? Tsing Hui frowned. 2 months ago, the Jin Wu religion had sent a messenger to Moon Lake Island, claiming that the Jin Wu religion was in a crisis and asking Tsing Hui for help. However, at that time, Tsing Hui was at a crucial point in his cultivation. How could he have the time to follow the Jin Wu religion messenger to the Jin Wu religion? He had plotted against the Jin Wu religion because he wanted to make use of the Jin Wu religion's channel to reach the mainland and pave the way for him to control more than half of the eastern wilderness in the future. However, he did not have to rely on the Jin Wu religion. He could not possibly ruin his cultivation because of the Jin Wu religion. Hence, when the messenger from the Jin Wu religion came, he was naturally rejected. After that, the Jin Wu religion had sent 2 groups of messengers to ask him for help again. However, he had rejected all of them without exception. However, now, it is not easy to cultivate the Torch Dragon bloodline, especially now that I have reached the peak of the Green Netherworld realm, which is the peak of the 5th stage of the Torch Sun Sutra. Before I am 100% confident, I cannot break through to the prominent divine stage and condense a combat body. However, if I can obtain the 6th stage of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, I can go to the core of the Great Sun in the sky and witness the divine beast Golden Crow's true body cultivate. The chances of entering the prominent divine stage and cultivating the divine Golden Crow combat body is much higher than the Torch Dragon combat body. Qing Su's thoughts shifted slightly, but he already had a plan. However, to cultivate in the core of the Great Sun, he still had to prepare a lot of Taoist rhymes. During this period, other than helping the Milky Way commerce deliver resources and obtaining an item that carried Taoist rhymes, only the 2 deacons of the Life Alliance took out an item that carried Taoist rhymes and exchanged it for some divine weapons. In the past 4 months, his income was very little. He had to quickly plan for the item that carried Taoist rhymes. Bring the messenger from the Jin Wu religion to the living room. I will be there later. Yes. The guard who received the order respectfully responded and retreated. Just as Tsing Hui returned to his courtyard, he saw a damaged battleship appear in the sky above Moon Lake Island. The battleship slowly descended towards Moon Lake Island spaceport. There were many cultivators from the Life Alliance on the battleship. All of them looked miserable and were severely injured. Tsing Hui glanced around and said to a guard, "Tell Ling Yu and Maha to come see me." "Yes, Lord Alliance Master." As Tsing Hui changed his clothes and walked out of the courtyard, Ling Yu and Maha sect's leader were already waiting outside. When they saw Tsing Hui, they hurriedly stepped forward and bowed. "Greetings, Alliance Master. When I entered Moon Lake Island just now, I saw a battleship. Many of the Life League's disciples were injured. Why is that?" This, Ling Yu and Master Mahakasayapa looked at each other with a trace of shame on their faces. "That's a battleship from the north. Maha, you're in charge of the war in the north. Tell me." Tsing Hui's gaze fell on Master Mahakasayapa. "Alliance Master, do you remember when I reported to you a few months ago that the Life League's attack on Golden Edge Island was thwarted? I have some recollection of it. When Golden Edge Island learned that the Life League was planning to attack them, they had already recruited many of the nearby large islands. In addition, the Life League's first wave of attack failed, so Golden Edge Island spread the news of the battle. The many islands that were originally under the pressure of the Life League spontaneously gathered around Golden Edge Island and formed the Dark Sun Alliance with Golden Edge Island as the leader. Although the Life League had attacked Golden Edge Island 4 times, many experts would emerge from Golden Edge Island each time. In addition, the strongest person in the Life League, the Sea Protector God King, was stationed at Qinglan Peak of the Hunyuan Heaven Sect. As a result, the attack failed. Master Mahakasayapa suddenly half-knelt on the ground. I failed in the battle. Please punish me, Alliance Master. Someone actually dares to make an enemy out of the Life League. Do they really think that the Life League can't do anything to them if they work together? Tsing Hui ignored Master Mahakasayapa. His right hand gently stroked the scabbard of the divine sword at his waist. It was the light coagulation sword. Although he couldn't use the light coagulation sword, he carried it with him at all times. He comprehended the sword intent within it day and night to strengthen his mind-freezing sword intent ability. My lord, I'm afraid you can't blame Master Mahakasayapa for this. According to my secret investigation, the Limitless Sword Sect may be behind Golden Edge Island. Ling Yu said cautiously. The Limitless Sword Sect. Tsing Hui's gaze immediately fell on Ling Yu. Tell me the details. Master Mahakasayapa's first attack was only a probing attack and wasn't worth mentioning. However, he took the second attack seriously. On the third attack, almost half of the Life League's forces were involved. Even I went personally and fought a mysterious expert from Golden Edge Island with the divine art. Although the mysterious expert was only at the peak of the Blue Netherworld realm, he had mastered an extremely powerful sword technique. His divine weapon was also at the 7th level. Even though I had the divine art, I couldn't do anything to him for a while. In the end, I had to withdraw the divine art when I saw that the time limit of the divine art was up. Later, I judged that the sword technique used by the mysterious expert was 90% similar to the Limitless Sword Sect's God-slaying sword technique. Even if there were differences, it was probably just a cover-up. The God-slaying sword technique of the Limitless Sword Sect, Tsing Hui had heard of this sword technique before. The Limitless Sword Sect had inherited the Sword Tao of the Life-Killing Sword Sect, a supreme sect before the Divine Wilderness was destroyed. This Sword Tao seemed to have touched upon the most mysterious and terrifying law of destruction in the world. It allowed cultivators to get closer to the great Tao of heaven and earth through endless slaughter. During the Divine Wilderness, the Life-Killing Sword Sect had relied on this sword technique to dominate for a period of time and become one of the top 3 sword sects of the time. They were on par with the Severing Emotions Sword Sect and the Solitary Sword Sect and dominated the Divine Wilderness. It seems that Golden Edge Island is a spy that the Limitless Sword Sect has planted overseas. Tsing Hui said. It's not just the Limitless Sword Sect. In fact, almost all of the 10 sacred sects have planted spies overseas to make it easier for them to control the situation overseas. However, some of the spies left behind by the sects are not strong enough to have any substantial impact on the situation overseas. Ling Yu said, the reason why we were able to sweep through almost half of the overseas forces so smoothly was because we didn't encounter any spies from the other sections. Or rather, those hidden forces felt that it wasn't worth it to fight the Life Moon Alliance head-on, so they tacitly allowed us to sweep through the overseas forces. However, as time passes, we will inevitably encounter the forces left behind by the powerful sects overseas. Perhaps the Giant Dragon Mountain Range, the Green Lotus Sword Sect, the Jin Wu religion, and the Pharaoh Sect won't continue to fight the Life Moon Alliance, but the remaining 6 paths of God and demons, the Shenshao Sword Sect, and the Qianquan Sacred Ground won't be easy to deal with. As for the Limitless Sword Sect and the Creation Mystical Sect, there was no need for Ling Yu to continue. Tsing Hui already understood. The Limitless Sword Sect was one thing, but the Creation Mystical Sect was already plotting overseas. Not long ago, they had almost built 3 creation gates on the Flying Snow Island and the Freezing Snow Island. They would never give up on such a huge overseas market. In fact, the forces they possessed overseas were even stronger than Golden Edge Island, which was left behind by the Limitless Sword sect. Alliance Master, should we temporarily postpone our attack on Golden Edge Island? After all, the Limitless Sword sect is the Hunyuan Heaven sect's most powerful ally, and our sea-suppressing hall is also a part of the Hunyuan Heaven sect. If we go overboard, I'm afraid the two sects will lose face. It might even affect the alliance between the Hunyuan Heaven sect and the Limitless Sword sect to resist the Creation Mystical sect. Postpone. Why should we postpone? It's true that the Hunyuan Heaven sect and the Limitless Sword sect have formed an alliance, but the two sects also have many conflicts. Don't forget that the Hunyuan Heaven sect didn't just rule 24 countries back then, but 25. The Great Yen dynasty is still occupied by the Limitless Sword sect. Although I'm the Hall Master of the Hunyuan Heaven sect's sea-suppressing hall, I'm also a member of the Hunyuan Heaven sect's Supreme Elder Council. Unless the Limitless Sword sect sends a Supreme Elder to openly discuss this matter with me, we can just pretend that we don't know anything about Golden Edge Island and flatten it with thunderous force. After that, the Limitless Sword sect will have no reason to make trouble for us. This. Summon Lord Zhenhai back. I previously asked Lord Zhenhai to protect Senior Sister Nalan to prevent the First Deputy Sect Master, Bei Zhongguang, from attacking her, but now that I've beaten Bei Zhongguang into submission, he won't dare to act rashly with my status as a Supreme Elder suppressing him. Moreover, my senior sister will be in closed-door cultivation for a short period of time in order to step into the Qingming stage as soon as possible and seize the Deputy Sect Master's position. There's no need to waste such a powerful force. When Lord Zhenhai returns, you can join forces again and take down Golden Edge Island in one fell swoop. Yes, Alliance Master. Seeing that Xing Hui had already made a decision, Ling Yu no longer hesitated and respectfully agreed. Although the Limitless Sword sect was powerful, it was not worth mentioning compared to Master Zhu Zhao, who was backing Xing Hui. After instructing Ling Yu and the Maha sect master on how to deal with Golden Edge Island, Xing Hui went straight to the reception hall. In the reception hall, an elder of the Jin Wu religion was anxiously waiting. When he saw Xing Hui enter, he hurriedly greeted him. Supreme Elder Xing Hui, you've finally finished your cultivation. After the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's two Supreme Elders, Yuan He and Qin Zhen, came to the Jin Wu religion's aid, the Creative All Mysterious sect actually sent 3 Supreme Elders. Currently, our Jin Wu religion's situation is even more worrying, especially, even though our Jin Wu religion has done all we can to refine eternal blazing suns, the supply of eternal blazing suns is still not enough to meet the demand. If this continues, our Jin Wu religion will be in danger of being destroyed. Grand Elder Xing Hui, please step forward and help us on behalf of our saintess. Don't worry, I naturally came out to help the Jin Wu religion. Make some preparations and we'll set off now. Xing Hui said. He had already comprehended the 5th level of the Jin Wu religion. Although he had not started cultivating, if he could reach the 6th level of the Jin Wu religion, he only needed to go into seclusion for half a year at the core of the Great Sun in the sky to push the Great Sun Golden Crow technique to the 6th level. It would not be difficult for him to condense the Golden Crow battle body in one go. A Supreme Elder of the Create Evolved Mysterious sect, if I can reach the prominent divine stage and condense the Golden Crow battle body, the Jin Wu religion's Supreme Elder can kill me. What can the Create Evolved Mysterious sect do to me? Chapter 283. What's the situation with the Jin Wu religion now? Within the Saint-Winged Draconic Eagle, Xing Hui asked Elder Gan Yang. Reporting to Elder, the Create Evolved Mysterious sect is determined to teach our Jin Wu religion an unforgettable lesson for the sake of Yeshua. In order to deal with us, the Create Evolved Mysterious sect has sent out a total of 26 prominent divine stage Grand Elders. Adding on the 3 that came not too long ago, the number of Grand Elders they placed in our Jin Wu religion has reached 29 prominent divine stage Grand Elders. Tsing Hui's expression changed slightly. The Create Evolve Mysterious sect has sent out so many prominent divine stage grand elders. Aren't they afraid that the Limitless Sword sect, Hunyuan Sacred Ground, Shen Shao Sword sect, Six Paths of Gods and Demons will make a move in the dark? Make a move in the dark. The Create Evolve Mysterious sect is currently connected to the Limitless Sword sect, our Jin Wu religion, Hunyuan Sacred Ground and the Six Paths of Gods and Demons. The Six Paths of Gods and Demons have an ambiguous attitude and even have some conflicts with the Create Evolve Mysterious sect. In the Six Paths of Gods and Demons, the Create Evolve Mysterious sect has only sent one ancestor, even though he is a high-level son of primal chaos. As for the Limitless Sword sect, they are a huge threat to the Create Evolve Mysterious sect. The second person of the Eastern Wasteland Board, Daoist Tian Ding, and the eighth person, Daoist Golden Cicada, are personally guarding the Sword Burial Terrace at the front. Adding on the other areas that have conflicts with the Limitless Sword sect, the Create Evolve Mysterious sect has sent 5 Saint Stage Grand Elders and 42 prominent Divine Stage Grand Elders. This is equivalent to half of the entire Create Evolve Mysterious sect's strength. 5 Saint Stage Grand Elders and 42 prominent Divine Stage Grand Elders. Hearing this number, Tsing Hui's expression turned serious. This is only half of the Creation Mysterious sect's strength. On the surface, the Creation Mystical sect has 14 ancestors and 108 prominent Divine Stage experts. They are known as the 108 Stars of Heavenly Dipper and Earthly Fiend stage. As for how many more experts they have in hiding, that is unknown. After all, 20 years ago, Daoist Tian Ding was known as the #1 expert in the Eastern Wilderness. Under Daoist Tian Ding's power, the Limitless Sword sect was once in a precarious situation. If it wasn't for the Limitless Sword sect revealing a trump card at the critical moment and allowing Ancestor Stone Sword to appear and defeat Daoist Tian Ding, the Limitless Sword sect would have lost half of their territory in that battle. An expert hiding in the dark, Tsing Hui's expression turned grave when he heard that. This was the most dreadful thing about the 10 sacred sections. For example, the city lord of Wanxiang City was at the peak of the prominent divine stage. He had cultivated a divine battle body and was a high-level son of chaos. His battle strength was so strong that ordinary prominent divine stage ancestors were no match for him. However, why couldn't he establish his own sect and create the 11th sacred sect? In the end, it was because he didn't have a foundation. Once forces like the Green Lotus Sword sect, the Dharma sect, and the Giant Dragon Mountain Range were suppressed and revealed their trump cards, another ancestor-level figure would appear. With a mysterious force supporting them, no one knew how many trump cards they had. This was also the reason why the 10 sacred sects were able to dominate the world and monopolize all the resources and cultivation techniques in the Eastern Wilderness. They even treated the entire Eastern Wilderness as their own backyard. Does your Jin Wu religion not have an ancestor or an antique-level figure hiding in some remote mountains to cultivate in seclusion? This, Qian Yang revealed an awkward expression. Although I have some status in the Jin Wu religion, I am still unable to come into contact with such core secrets. I hope Grand Supreme Elder can forgive me. Shaking his head, Tsing Hui didn't force Qian Yang. He didn't plan to completely control the Jin Wu religion. He just wanted to obtain the Jin Wu religion's Great Sun Golden Crow technique first. Before he truly understood the hidden force behind the Jin Wu religion and the chaos organization related to this force, he had to plan slowly to control the Jin Wu religion. He couldn't be too hasty. Although the sacred winged Dragonhawk's flying speed couldn't be compared to Tsing Hui's flowing fire sword, it was still as fast as lightning. 6 days later, with a flash of golden light, the sacred winged Dragonhawk directly landed on a sparse mountain range. This mountain range was completely red. Even the soil in the mountain seemed to contain a strong fire aura. Tsing Hui, who cultivated the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, stood on this mountain range and took in a breath of Yuan Qi. He could feel the restlessness of the Golden Crow Qi in his body, which showed how extraordinary this place was. This is one of the 4 most famous treasured places of the Jin Wu religion. It's called the Hidden Flame Mountain. At the foot of this mountain range, there is a huge lava field. The lava field is created by nature and constantly spits out pure fire element Yuan Qi. Cultivating here for a day is almost equivalent to refining a fire spirit crystal. Furthermore, under the condition that it doesn't affect the efficiency, this place can provide for almost 100 cultivators to cultivate at the same time. Qian Yang hurriedly explained for Tsinghui. Cultivating here for a day is equivalent to refining a fire spirit crystal, and it can provide for almost 100 cultivators to cultivate at the same time. Tsinghui was secretly shocked. His 10 years of salary in the sea-suppressing palace was only 3,000 spirit crystals. If cultivating here for a day was equivalent to refining a fire spirit crystal, 10 years would be 3,650 spirit crystals. If it could provide for almost 100 people to cultivate, it would be more than 300,000 spirit crystals. Such an important place could not be lost. It was no wonder that even the leader of the Jin Wu religion led his men out of the headquarters of the Jin Wu religion to take charge of this place. Grand Elder Tsinghui is finally here. This bastard from the Create Evolve Mysterious sect is really despicable. He actually intends to build the Gate of Creation outside the Hidden Flame Mountain. If we wait for him to build the Gate of Creation and cover this place with the power of the Gate of Creation, how can we be a match for him? Now that Grand Elder Tsinghui is here, it's a good opportunity for us to destroy this Gate of Creation in one go and destroy the Create Evolve Mysterious sect's ambition. As soon as Tsinghui arrived at the Hidden Flame Mountain, several figures came out to greet him. The leader of the Jin Wu religion, Zhu Xian, Grand Elder Ganlai, and the 2 Grand Elders from the Hunyuan heavenly sect, Qin Zhen and Yuan He, who had fought with Tsinghui before. Tsinghui greets everyone. Tsinghui cupped his hands towards the crowd. With his current status, he did not even need to salute the leader of the Jin Wu religion, Zhu Xian. Grand Elder Tsinghui is too polite. Saintess Lai Wuyang is not here. Tsinghui asked. He had planned to kill a Grand Elder of the Create Evolve Mysterious sect and use that Grand Elder's life to exchange for the cultivation method of the 6th stage of the Great Sun Golden Crow skill of the Golden Crow sect. Since Lai Wuyang was not around, who would he ask to exchange for the 6th stage of the Golden Crow skill? However, the moment he arrived, he immediately asked about Lai Wuyang's whereabouts. This action immediately caused Zhu Xian, Ganlai, Yuan He, and Qin Zhen to reveal a, "I understand," smile at the same time. Grand Elder Tsinghui, please calm down. Saintess Lai Wuyang is currently in closed-door cultivation and is doing her best to cultivate the Spirit Qi Unity stage to perfection before attempting to break through to the Blue Nether stage. Moreover, the Hidden Flame Mountain will soon become the battlefield between our Jin Wu religion and the Create Evolve Mysterious sect. There is an 80% to 90% chance that a great battle at the Prominent Saint stage will erupt here. With her cultivation, it is a little too dangerous for her to come here. Grand Elder Tsinghui should not let her fall into danger. Tsinghui could not be bothered to care whether Lai Wuyang would fall into danger or not. Although he did not reveal anything on the surface and only nodded in agreement, he had secretly sent a strand of his consciousness into the Primal Chaos Divine Hall and directly contacted Lai Wuyang, wanting her to give an explanation for the current situation. After not seeing each other for a few months, Grand Elder Tsinghui's cultivation has probably become even more brilliant. This time, if we want to deal a heavy blow to the Create Evolve Mysterious sect, it will be even easier for us to repel this round of attacks. Qin Zhen's gaze sized up Tsinghui for a moment, and his eyes immediately lit up. Hearing Qin Zhen's words, Yuan He's eyes also flashed with a bright light. He had also sensed the change in the aura on Tsinghui's body. Perhaps he had yet to step into the Prominent Saint stage and condense a battle body, but his cultivation in the Green Nether realm had undoubtedly reached the peak of perfection. Tsinghui, who was at the early stage of the Green Nether realm, relied on the might of the sacred arts to fight against the two of them. Now that he had reached the peak of the Green Nether realm, to what extent would his strength be raised? This is great. Although Grand Elder Tsing Hui is our Hunyuan Heavenly Sect's Grand Elder, no one in the Create Evolved Mysterious Sect knows his true strength. We will take advantage of the fact that Grand Elder Tsing Hui has just arrived at the Create Evolved Mysterious Sect and counterattack. If everything goes well, we will definitely be able to kill 1 or 2 Create Evolved Mysterious Sect's Grand Elders. On the Hidden Flame Mountain side, there are only 5 Create Evolved Mysterious Sect's Grand Elders. If we can kill 1 or 2 of them, the remaining Create Evolved Mysterious Sect's Grand Elders will definitely retreat. At that time, we will be able to spare a portion of our forces to support the other battlefields. Yuan He's face was filled with joy. The Create Evolved Mysterious Sect killed our Jin Wu religion's Grand Elder, and our Jin Wu religion is already irreconcilable with them. If we have the opportunity to kill their Create Evolved Mysterious Sect's Grand Elder, the entire Jin Wu religion will be extremely grateful. However, I wonder if Grand Elder Tsing Hui will be able to lend us a hand. Since I am here to help the Jin Wu religion, I will naturally spare no effort. According to Grand Elder Yuan He and Grand Elder Qin Zhen, we will take advantage of the fact that the Create Evolved Mysterious Sect's Grand Elders are still unaware of my true strength. We will kill 1 or 2 Create Evolved Mysterious Sect spirit. Tsing Hui naturally had no objections to this. Alright, Grand Elder Tsing Hui, do you need to rest for a while? No need. If we delay for too long, the Create Evolved Mysterious Sect will be able to find out my background. The sooner the better. It won't be too late to rest after we kill 1 or 2 Create Evolved Mysterious Sect's Grand Elders. Tsing Hui's fighting spirit was high. If he could obtain the 6th stage of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique by killing a prominent divine stage expert of the Create Evolved Mysterious Sect, why not? Since Grand Elder Tsing Hui has spoken, we will head to the front line now. I wonder who the 5 Create Evolved Mysterious Sect's Grand Elders are. Let's study them and focus our attention on 2 of them. Once we kill these 2, we will be able to clinch victory in one fell swoop. Tsing Hui asked. Of course, we already have a clear understanding of the 5 Create Evolved Mysterious Sect's Grand Elders. These 5 Grand Elders are led by Grand Elder Wu Sui. Wu Sui is ranked 9th among the 108 Create Evolved Mysterious Sect's Grand Elders. He has awakened the bloodline of the sacred beast Philian and possesses a saint-grade battle physique. The remaining 4 Grand Elders are the 4 Yin-Yang disciples, namely Xian Yinzi, Xian Yangzi, Xian Yuzi, and Xian Tongzi. They are also quite difficult to deal with in the prominent divine stage. Zhu Xian introduced them to Tsing Hui. After hearing Zhu Xian's words, Tsing Hui's expression was relatively normal at the beginning. But when he heard the 4 Yin-Yang disciples, he had a bad feeling. When Zhu Xian mentioned Xian Yangzi's name, his expression suddenly became rather strange. Thank you, Alliance Leader, for your support. The starting point is a mountain with a higher mountain. Chapter 284. Xuanyangzi. Xuanyangzi and Xian Yinzi had been guarding the Gate of Good Fortune when he had used the name of the Jin Wu religion to destroy the Gate of Good Fortune. At that time, he had even fought with Xuanyangzi. Later, he relied on the Sword of Glorious Sun, which was similar to the Eternal Blazing Sun, to make Xuanyangzi regard him as the top expert of the Jin Wu religion. That was how the Create Evolved Mysterious Sect suppressed the Jin Wu religion. It could be said that the Jin Wu religion's precarious situation was inextricably linked to Tsing Hui's act of framing the Jin Wu religion for destroying the Gate of Good Fortune. Of course, this incident was only a catalyst. The key was that the Create Evolved Mysterious Sect was plotting against the other sacred sects. Tsing Hui's act of destroying the Gate of Good Fortune in the name of the Jin Wu religion was just an opportunity. But this was not the main point. The main point was that if Xuanyangzi saw through his true identity and found out that he was the mysterious expert of the Jin Wu religion who had destroyed the Gate of Good Fortune, that would be a huge joke. Tsing Hui secretly glanced at the leader of the Jin Wu religion, Zhu Xian. At that time, would the leader of the Jin Wu religion directly help the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect to capture him and hand him over to the Create-Evolved Mysterious sect to appease their anger? What's the matter, Elder Tsing Hui? Zhu Xian valued Tsing Hui's opinion very much and noticed that his attitude was strange. He immediately asked politely. Nothing, please continue, Leader Zhu Xian. Zhu Xian saw this, and although he was puzzled, he did not think much about it and continued, among the 5 supreme elders, the strongest, Wu Sui, is not easy to deal with. Not only does he have great battle strength, but he also has many life-saving methods. Among the remaining 4 supreme elders, the one who poses the least threat to us is Xuanyangzi. Xuanyangzi's bloodline is the power to control fire, but this level of power is nothing to us. If we want to kill him, it will be the easiest. That's right. Then we might as well make Xuanyangzi our first target. Upon hearing Zhu Xian's words, Tsing Hui immediately chimed in. When Yuan He and Qin Zhen saw Tsing Hui's quick agreement, they couldn't help but think of Tsing Hui's feat of resisting 10 eternal blazing suns without dying. He had a treasure that could resist fire attribute damage, so it was indeed the best choice to deal with Xuanyangzi. Alright then. Just as Elder Tsing Hui said, our first target is Xuanyangzi. However, after killing Xuanyangzi, we might as well plot something else. If we can kill the second creation mystical sect supreme elder, the crisis of Hidden Flame Mountain will be mostly resolved. The weakest of the remaining 3 is Xian Tongzi, who is only at the early stage of the Green Hell realm and has only awakened the bloodline of the spiritual beast, the long-armed ape. However, Xian Yangzi and Xian Yinzi are very close. If Xian Yangzi is in danger, Xian Yinzi will try his best to save him. If we plan well, we can take the opportunity to trap Xian Yinzi as well. After killing Xian Yangzi, we can immediately turn around and kill Xian Yinzi. The supreme elder of the Jin Wu religion, Gan Lai, said. Oh. Upon hearing this, Tsing Hui's heart skipped a beat. If he could kill the 2 supreme elders of the Jin Wu religion, it would be good to let the Jin Wu religion have some peace. He had obtained the 6th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow skill, so he had to study it well. During this period, if the Jin Wu religion was in danger and sent messengers to Moon Lake Island to ask for help, it would be troublesome. Moreover, his chaos level was about to reach level 30. Once he reached level 30, he would have the Chaos Treasure Pavilion, but he would also need a large amount of Taoist aura to purchase the materials in the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. If he wanted to obtain Taoist aura, he would have to spend more effort on the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce and the Hunyuan Chamber of Commerce. Both of these aspects had to rely on the incarnation skill. When the incarnation skill was used, it would bring about a weakening effect. Even though Tsing Hui had upgraded the incarnation skill to level 4 when his chaos level reached level 29, 3 days of weakness and 10 days of recovery were unavoidable. With such a delay, he really didn't have much energy to waste on the Jin Wu religion. After pondering for a moment, Tsing Hui immediately said, "Alright, then let's target Xian Yinzi. I have a secret technique that was formed by comprehending the eternal blazing Sunday. It can erupt with full strength and give a fatal blow to the target. However, when I attack, I would like to ask Elder Qin Zhen to help me stabilize the space around Xian Yinzi. With this sword, Xian Yinzi will definitely be turned into ashes." There's actually such a sword technique? Qin Zhen's eyes were filled with shock. Even Yuan He, Gan Lai, Zhu Xian, and the others' expressions changed greatly. Killing a prominent saint expert with a single sword strike. Even a supreme secret technique of the saint realm might not have such an ability, right? Only those who had cultivated to the transcendent realm and had perfect control over their true chi could use some special techniques to release their strength in a single breath and kill a prominent saint expert with a single strike. Now that Tsing Hui dared to speak such words, didn't it mean that the might of his sword strike was already sufficient to compare with a second-level transcendent realm expert? If Supreme Elder Tsing Hui possesses such a sword technique, then why worry about the creation mystical sect being destroyed? Alright, Then we'll set out right now and attack the Creation Mystical Sect's base. Let's go. Even though the creation door of the Creation Mystical Sect still needs 10 days to half a month to be established, the sooner we destroy it, the more at ease we'll be. Everyone present here was at the prominent Saint realm, so all of them were extremely decisive. After they finished discussing, all of them soared into the sky at the same time and headed directly towards the Creation Mystical Sect's base on Mount Covetous Flame. The Creation Mystical Sect's base was at the peak of a mountain in the outer area of Mount Covetous Flame. Before they even approached the mountain, Tsing Hui was already able to see an enormous building that seemed like an arched ring at the peak of the mountain. Compared to the gates of creation on the Flying Snow Island, Frigid Snow Island, and Floating Snow Island, the one in front of him was only a framework. It would take some time for it to fully take shape. As for obtaining the dark female pearl and activating the gate of creation, it would take at least 20 days. Every time the Creation Mystical Sect occupies a piece of land, they'll build a creation door there. Once the creation door is completed, we'll have to pay 10 times or even a few tens of times the price to take back that piece of land. The Creation Mystical Sect has relied on this method to control a small portion of the eastern wasteland, and it's ceaselessly compressing the living space of us 9 sections. If this continues, then there'll probably be no place for us 9 sects to live in the eastern wasteland in a few hundred or 1,000 years. Gan Lai looked at the embryonic form of the creation door at the peak of the mountain in front of him with an extremely ugly expression. I heard that the creation door was passed down from the Heaven Tao of the 10 great chaotic organizations. Its predecessor was the Tai Chi formation, one of the 3 most powerful formations of the Heaven Tao. I don't know if this is true or not. Zhu Xian turned his gaze to Yuan He and Qin Zhen and asked. I reckon it's probably true. The Tai Chi formation has extremely high requirements for the formation. Not only are the formation materials precious, but the person in charge of the formation must also be an almighty. Only then can the formation be known as one of the most powerful formations in the world. It's obviously impossible for the Creation Mystical Sect to invite an almighty to set up the formation, so they thought of a way to simplify the Tai Chi formation and create the creation door. This way, the formation's power will be greatly reduced, and it'll have almost no effect on saints, but it'll be effective against immortals. Yuan He said in a low voice. After the Hunyuan Heavenly Sect joined the Shadow Sword Sect, they also gained insight into many secrets that they normally wouldn't have access to. Swish! At this moment, a sharp whistle resounded through the void. The next moment, 5 powerful auras from the Creation Mystical Sect's camp soared into the sky at the same time, sweeping up a mighty momentum that went straight into the clouds. Damn it, every time we try to sneak attack the Creation Mystical Sect, we'll be detected in advance. I really don't know what methods the Creation Mystical Sect has. Since the sneak attack failed, we'll directly attack. According to our previous discussion, Sect Master Zhu Xian, you hold the Jin Wu religion's supreme treasure and hold back Wu Sui. Elder Tsing Hui, you and I will work together to deal with Xuanyangzi and Xianingzi. As for Elder Yuan He and Elder Qianlai, you two will hold back Xian Tongzi and Xian Yuzi and act as you see fit. A cold light flashed in Qin Zhen's eyes. The next moment, the shadow of a heavenly peng appeared behind her and rushed straight to the peak of the mountain like a stream of light. Zhu Xian, Qin Zhen, how dare you? We didn't take the initiative to provoke you, but you still dared to come knocking on our door without knowing what's good for you. You're really courting death. Jin Wu religion, Hunyuan Heavenly Sect, I think you should give up resisting and join our Creation Mystical Sect. Our Creation Mystical Sect acts on behalf of the heavens, and everything we do is to maintain order and stability in the world and open up an unprecedented era of peace and prosperity. Why do you want to go against the heavens and obstruct our Creation Mystical Sect from unifying the world for your own selfish reasons? A majestic voice rang out from the Creation Mystical Sect's camp. Immediately after, 5 figures swept up a mighty wind and clouds, and a powerful pressure rushed over. Act on behalf of the heavens. Everyone who doesn't respect your creation mystical sect is defying the heavens. Humph. The creation mystical sect really talks big. If you want to act on behalf of the heavens, you'll have to ask our Hunyuan heavenly sect first. Qin Zhen, who was at the front, let out a long roar. The moment she joined the battlefield, she had already manifested the heavenly Peng's sacred body. The heavenly Peng shadow appeared and sucked fiercely at Xuanyangzi and Xianyinzi. It was as if a Kuan Peng was going to swallow the two grand elders of the creation mystical sect into its stomach. While Qin Zhen attacked, Tsing Hui also turned into a stream of light and whizzed straight towards Xuanyangzi. Prominent divine stage experts were extremely sensitive to auras. Even though he was using the power of the Shining Dragon bloodline, no one dared to guarantee that Xuanyangzi would be able to tell that he was the person who had destroyed the Gate of Destinies in the sea. Therefore, killing Xuanyangzi as soon as the battle broke out was the best choice. Xuanyangzi, Xianyinzi, you two be careful. This boy is the Hunyuan heavenly sect's newly promoted Grand Elder, Cho Tsing Hui. He has awakened the divine beast bloodline and has amazing battle strength. He also has the divine art and is not weaker than any visionary saint expert. Quickly manifest your battle physique and don't relax. Seeing Tsing Hui appear, Wu Sui, the leader of the 5 Grand Elders, hurriedly shouted. Cho Tsing Hui. In fact, Wu Sui didn't need to remind them. In the face of the power of Qin Zhen's sacred body, how could Xuanyangzi and Xianyinzi dare to underestimate it? Just as they were about to be swallowed into the heavenly Peng's stomach, they had already manifested their sacred body and constantly fought against the heavenly Peng's sacred body's shadow in the void. Taking advantage of the moment and the two were entangled by the heavenly Peng's sacred body, Tsing Hui immediately activated the divine art. At the same time, the flying speed of a grade 6 flying sword. Rumble. The grade 9 divine sword revealed its edge. Chapter 285. This is, sensing the sharpness of the divine weapon in Tsing Hui's hand, Xuanyangzi, who was using all his strength to resist Elder Qin Zhen's heavenly rock-swallowing sky technique, had a change in expression. Senior brother Xuanyangzi, be careful. Xianyinzi, who had also manifested his saint physique, exclaimed. Rumble. Seeing that the sword light was about to reach him and that he could not dodge, Xuanyangzi's eyes flashed coldly as he made a prompt decision. In the next moment, the fire shell saint physique that had manifested above his head shot out a fiery light that seemed to burn the heavens. It carried a scorching power that could destroy the heavens and extinguish the earth as it swallowed Tsing Hui's figure. If Tsing Hui's sword wanted to slash his body, it would first be burned by the true fire and turn into ashes. Open. Facing the blazing flames, Tsing Hui's sword Qi soared into the heavens as he fully activated his peak green netherworld realm cultivation. Under the amplification of the divine technique, it soared to an unimaginable realm. The vast pressure that swept out in an instant caused the heaven-earth Yuan Qi within a radius of dozens of kilometers to change. On the tip of his rank 9 divine sword, a torch dragon phantom appeared and let out a roar that shook the heavens and earth. It swept up the boundless Yuan Qi that spanned dozens of kilometers and brazenly tore apart the endless sea of flames. What a powerful sword Qi! Such a huge commotion caused Zhu Xian and Gan Lai, who were witnessing Tsing Hui's strength for the first time, to raise their eyebrows. On the other hand, the various grand elders of the creation mystical sect turned pale with fright. Cho Tsing Hui actually has this kind of ability. Oh no! Xuanyangzi is in danger. Qin Zhen, get out of my way. If anything happens to my senior brother Xuanyangzi, I will not rest until you die. Unfortunately, it was still too late for them to realize this. The situation on the battlefield was ever-changing. In the blink of an eye, the sword Qi formed by the divine sword in Tsing Hui's hand had already torn apart the sea of flames. The sword Qi shuttled back and forth and formed a huge flaming passage. Although the temperature of the flaming passage was enough to melt gold and forge iron, To Tsing Hui, who had the Golden Crow bloodline and rank 9 armor, this kind of heat was nothing to be afraid of. A top-notch divine weapon. This is a top-notch divine weapon. Oh no! The moment Xuanyangzi's sea of fire, which was formed by his Huobei's sacred body, was torn apart, he felt the danger. The divine sword aura was close to him, and he could no longer care about anything else. He roared and wanted to retreat immediately. You want to leave? Void freeze. Qin Zhen herself was responsible for cooperating with Tsing Hui to carry out the fatal blow. Seeing that Xuanyangzi was trying to escape, the Heavenly Ping sacred body's Heavenly Ping shadow suddenly let out a loud cry. Rings of terrifying sound waves spread in all directions. Wherever the sound waves passed, the concepts of space and pneuma were all mixed up, so that Xuanyangzi, who originally wanted to withdraw, was frozen in the void. How could Tsing Hui let go of such an opportunity? The sharp edge of the level 9 divine weapon pierced straight through and tore apart Xuanyangzi's protective gang qi with an unstoppable force. Bastard! Wu Sui, who was entangled by the Jin Wu religion's sect master Zhu Xian, saw this scene and immediately let out an angry roar. His body emitted an extremely strong energy fluctuation, and he tried to break free from Zhu Xian's entanglement to rescue Xuanyangzi. However, Zhu Xian and the others already had a plan. The first Supreme Elder to be killed was Xuanyangzi, and they did their best to not give Wu Sui any chance. Cho Tsing Hui. You dare to kill the Supreme Elder of my creative mysterious sect. Unfortunately, this roar didn't cause the level 9 divine weapon in Tsing Hui's hand to stagnate even a little. Xuanyangzi was wearing a Type 6 armor, and adding on the might of his astral qi, his defense was extremely shocking. As long as an ordinary prominent divine expert wielding a Type 7 weapon did not hit his vitals, it would be hard for them to kill him in a single strike. However, the divine weapon in Tsing Hui's hand wasn't as simple as an ordinary divine weapon. In front of the sharpness of the level 9 divine weapon, the level 6 armor was easily sliced apart like tofu. In the next moment, the sharpness contained within the level 9 divine weapon easily pierced through Xuanyangzi's body. The sword qi contained within the level 9 divine weapon exploded, instantly tearing Xuanyangzi into a bloody mist. A mighty visionary saint expert who had manifested his saint body in his strongest state had been slain by a single strike from the green ruin sword. Even with the help of Elder Qin Zhen's Sky Rock sacred physique, it was still enough to prove how strong Tsing Hui was after cultivating the Illuminating Sun Sutra to the peak of the 5th level. This kind of strength shocked even the two supreme elders, Yuan He and Qin Zhen, who had fought head-on with Tsing Hui before. Although they had expected Tsing Hui to be strong and might be able to kill Xuanyangzi by surprise, they didn't expect the process to be so easy. It was a pity that Xuanyangzi wasn't even able to reveal Tsing Hui's true identity before he was killed in a single strike. The secret that Tsing Hui was the main culprit behind the destruction of the creation mysterious gate would be buried with his death. Retreat! 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 There's a change in the situation. Retreat! When Wu Sui saw Xuanyangzi die and Tsing Hui, who was far stronger than ordinary prominent divine stage experts, he immediately let out a loud roar. The image of a huge ferocious beast with the head of a deer, the body of a bird, and the tail of a snake appeared above his head. This ferocious beast spat at the sky, and a terrifying hurricane that could destroy one's soul swept out from its mouth. It carried with it a boundless power that sent sand and rocks flying, and it actually enveloped the entire battlefield within a radius of tens of kilometers. Be careful, this is Fei Lian's soul-dispersing divine wind. Everyone, stabilize your minds. The black wind swept out, blotting out the sky, and Zhu Xian's dignified shout vaguely came from it. Tsing Hui, who originally wanted to turn around and kill Xianninzi with the sword of the glorious sun, was also affected by this divine wind. If it weren't for the fact that he had been using the qi of the primordial spirit to constantly temper his mental power in the past few months and raised his mental power level to the 73rd level, he would have been dizzy. Glancing at Xianninzi, who had quickly escaped while Qin Zhen stabilized his mental power, Tsing Hui was a little tempted. Although his mental power was affected, relying on his sword intent that was almost at the great success stage and the mental suppression of the 73rd level, it would not have any impact on his battle strength. If he wanted, he only needed to summon the flying sword, flowing fire, again to catch up with Xian Yinzi who was retreating rapidly and kill him. But after pondering for a moment, he finally stopped. According to Qian Yang's words, he had already understood that the foundation of the 10 great sacred sects should not be as simple as what he saw. Although the Jin Wu religion was forced by the create-evolved mysterious sect to the point that even the sect master had to personally go to the battlefield, he did not believe that the Jin Wu religion had been driven to the end of the line. By killing a supreme elder of the create-evolved mysterious sect, he could already obtain the 6th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow secret art. His goal had been achieved. There was no need to use the sword of the glorious sun for the Jin Wu religion and put himself in danger. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but stop. Not only did he stop, but he also deliberately controlled the qi and blood in his body, making his face look faintly pale, as if his divine soul had been damaged by the soul-dispersing divine wind. The soul-dispersing divine wind came and went quickly. This was one of the most powerful means of the holy beast Philian. It was a terrifying ability that was close to a divine ability. Wu Sui also relied on the power of the soul-dispersing divine wind to rank in the top 10 among the 108 supreme elders of the create-evolved mysterious sect. However, the more powerful the means, the greater the consumption. Wu Sui did not dare to let the soul-dispersing divine wind last for too long, lest he ran out of energy and became a fish waiting to be slaughtered. Don't chase a cornered enemy. Destroy the create-evolved mysterious sect's camp first. We must not let them build the create-evolved mysterious sect. Okay, let's go. When the Supreme Elders saw that the people of the create-evolved mysterious sect had retreated, their gazes quickly fell on the create-evolved mysterious sect's camp. In an instant, streams of flowing light shot towards the create-evolved mysterious sect's camp, causing violent explosions in the camp. At the same time, the Divine Qi Uniting Realm and Green Netherworld Realm experts in the create-evolved mysterious sect's camp who were unable to retreat in time were also killed. They screamed and fled in all directions at full speed. In just a short moment, Tsing Hui had seen dozens of Divine Qi Uniting Realm experts being killed with his own eyes. The number of Green Netherworld Realm experts who had fallen had also reached 6. It's really a war of survival between the saint sects. Compared to a war of this scale, the attacks of the many islands in the outer seas are like child's play. No wonder the 10 great saint sects can't be bothered to pay attention to the forces in the outer seas. To them, even if the outer seas become stronger, it will be difficult for them to achieve anything. Tsing Hui looked at the battlefield below with a strange expression. He had thought that the Life Moon Alliance was already considered a force, but now it seemed that he had overestimated himself. Supreme Elder Tsing Hui, are you alright? I see that you don't look too good. At this time, Yuan He appeared beside Tsing Hui and asked with concern. It's nothing serious, but Wu Sui's soul-dispersing divine wind is really powerful. Although my cultivation has progressed quickly over the years, I have neglected to refine and sharpen my own spirit. As a result, the soul-dispersing divine wind seems to have injured my divine soul. Injured your divine soul? When Yuan He heard Tsing Hui's words and saw that his face was pale, he was a little worried, but at the same time, he heaved a sigh of relief. Just now, when Tsing Hui killed Xuanyangzi, he had displayed a strength that was far greater than that of the battle 4 or 5 months ago, which had shocked him. If Tsing Hui had such strength 4 months ago, Yuan He and Qin Zhen might not have been in such a good situation. However, at the same time that Qing Su possessed great strength, he had also exposed his weakness in this battle. After all, he was too young, it was impossible for one to cultivate in every aspect. His combat strength may be earth-shattering, but because he was too young, the weakness of his divine soul had become an unavoidable weakness. This was completely understandable. Knowing Tsing Hui's weakness, if this Supreme Elder dared to have any ill intentions towards the Hunyuan Heaven sect in the future, the Hunyuan Heaven sect could send a Supreme Elder with a talent for divine soul attacks to subdue him. Supreme Elder Yuan He, the damage to my divine soul is no small matter. Although my injuries are not serious, in order to avoid affecting my cultivation in the future, I'm afraid I can no longer continue to assist you in the battle. In a while, I will return to the sea-suppressing hall to recuperate my divine soul. The matter of Hidden Flame Mountain will depend on you. The spirit is no small matter. Today, with your help, we've killed a Grand Elder of the Create-Evolve mystical sect, causing them to suffer heavy losses. I'm sure they won't dare to act rashly for the next 2 to 3 months. You just need to recuperate. When the Create-Evolve mystical sect makes a comeback in 2 to 3 months, the damage to your spirit should be more or less healed. Yuan He nodded in understanding. I'll talk to Sect Master Zhu Xian. Tsing Hui said. If he successfully obtained the 6th stage of the Great Sun Golden Crow art, whether he would come to the Jin Wu religion's aid would depend on his mood. Chapter 286. Swish. Zhu Xian, Gan Lai, Qin Zhen, and the others chased after the Create-Evolve Mysterious Sect for a while before destroying the incomplete Create-Evolve Mysterious Sect. Then, they turned into streams of light and appeared beside Tsing Hui and Elder Yuan He. It's a pity that Wu Sui reacted very quickly. As soon as he sensed that the situation was not good, he decisively used the soul-dispersing divine wind, forcing us to stabilize our minds to resist. Only then did he take away the remaining 3 yin-yang masters. Otherwise, according to Great Elder Tsing Hui's original proposal, we would have to leave one of them behind. There was a trace of regret in Gan Lai's voice. Zhu Xian glanced at Qing Su's rather pale face and roughly understood what was going on. He said, the Creation Mystic sect obviously has their own plans for letting Wu Sui take charge of the battle at the Hidden Flame Mountain. The Hidden Flame Mountain is close to the headquarters of our Golden Crow sect, so it's one of the most important places of our sect. They probably don't have much hope in taking down the Hidden Flame Mountain itself, which is why they've sent Wu Sui, who's good at staying alive and interfering. If they really wanted to wipe us out with lightning speed, they probably would have sent Elder Lu Wu or even Devouring Heaven. Lu Wu and Devouring Heaven were both great elders of the Create-Evolve Mysterious sect. Among them, Lu Wu had awakened the bloodline of the sacred beast Lu Wu. This sacred beast had the power to move mountains and fill seas. It could easily destroy treasured lands like Hidden Flame Mountain, which was built on the terrain of a mountain range. In terms of destructive power on the ground, Lu Wu was even stronger than the North Star of the 6 saints who ruled over the element of earth. As for Devouring Heaven, he was an even more earth-shattering existence. He was ranked 3rd among the Create-Evolve Mysterious sect's great elders and had awakened the bloodline of the divine beast Primal Chaos. Moreover, he had cultivated divine grade True Qi and Gang Qi. Only when he was at the Vision Divine stage did his battle physique fall to the divine grade. Even so, with the foundation he had accumulated back then, he could still be considered one of the top 10 figures in the Vision Divine stage. If one disregarded external factors such as divine techniques and divine weapons, it would not be difficult for him to rank in the top 3. Hearing Zhu Xian mention the names of the 2 great elders, Qin Zhen and Yuan, he did not know how to respond. If Qin Zhen had really cultivated the Saint-grade Heavenly Peng battle body, it would be better. During the period of the Saint body manifestation, she might not be unable to compete with Lu Wu and Devouring Heaven, the 2 great elders, but unfortunately, her celestial rock sacred body was formed by external forces. Although it had some of the power of a Saint-grade combat body, it was not comparable to a real Saint-grade combat body. Even though the Creation Mystical sect is wealthy and has countless experts in their sect, the death of a prominent divine great elder is still a huge blow to them. Before they figure out the background of the Qing Su great elder, they probably won't dare to invade again in the next few months. Our Golden Crow sect will be able to catch a breather at least a little. As Zhu Xian spoke, he bowed slightly to Tsing Hui. It's all thanks to Grand Elder Tsing Hui. Otherwise, we might not even have been able to capture Xuanyangzi. Sect Master Zhu is too polite. Our Hunyuan heavenly sect has already formed an alliance with the Jin Wu religion. We will naturally advance and retreat together. Tsing Hui said politely. In the end, he added, my spirit power was slightly damaged when I blocked Wu Sui's soul-dispersing divine wind. I'm afraid I will have to return to the sea-subduing hall to recuperate. Before I leave, I would like to go to your sect's headquarters to see Saint Lady Lai Wuyang. I hope Sect Master will agree. A smile of understanding appeared on Zhu Xian's face. He immediately took out a jade tablet. Grand Elder Tsing Hui can take this and go directly. From now on, if Grand Elder Tsing Hui wants to go to our Jin Wu religion's headquarters, you don't need to ask for permission from anyone. You can directly enter our Jin Wu religion. Even if you encounter some small problems that are inconvenient to solve, you can use this jade tablet to order our Jin Wu religion's disciples to do things. It won't be difficult to mobilize 1 or 2 elders to help. Many thanks, Sect Master. Tsing Hui's heart moved, and he accepted the jade tablet. With this jade tablet, if he was strong enough in the future, it would be much more convenient for him to directly enter the Jin Wu religion to steal the Great Sun Golden Crow art inheritance. When Yuan He and Qin Zhen saw Zhu Xian give out such a precious treasure, they were faintly worried that Tsing Hui might be pulled into the Jin Wu religion by Zhu Xian. They hurriedly said, if Grand Elder Tsing Hui wants to recuperate from the damage to his spirit, there is no need to travel thousands of miles to return to the sea-subduing hall. Sect Master can give you some dragon spirit incense. The dragon spirit incense is a top treasure for recuperating one's spirit. It will definitely help Grand Elder Tsing Hui recover from this small loss in a short time. Oh. Our Jin Wu religion also has some dragon spirit incense. When Grand Elder Tsing Hui comes to our Jin Wu religion headquarters, we can ask Lai Wuyang to give some to Grand Elder Tsing Hui. After all, Grand Elder Tsing Hui suffered some minor injuries while fighting for our Jin Wu religion. If the Jin Wu religion doesn't compensate you, we will definitely thank you in the future. Zhu Xian said. Although the dragon spirit incense was nothing to Tsing Hui, treasures related to the spirit had always been priceless. Since the Jin Wu religion was willing to give it to him for free, Tsing Hui naturally wouldn't refuse. Many thanks, Sect Master. After speaking, he cupped his hands. There's no time to lose. I'll go to the Jin Wu religion now. If you need my help again, Sect Master Zhu can just send someone to send a message. As long as I'm not in a critical period of cultivation, I will definitely come to contribute to the Hunyuan heavenly sect. Yuan He and Qin Zhen smiled faintly when they heard Tsing Hui's words. At least this kid still remembered that he was a member of the Hunyuan heavenly sect. Zhu Xian immediately summoned Gan Yang, who had brought Tsing Hui here, and had him lead the way to the Jin Wu religion. Tsing Hui was too lazy to control the sacred winged dragon hawk, and he didn't refuse Zhu Xian's good intentions. The two hurried back and forth and soon soared into the air again, flying towards the Jin Wu religion headquarters. After flying for less than a day, the Jin Wu religion headquarters' blazing flame mountain appeared in front of them. Compared to the Hunyuan heavenly sect, the Jin Wu religion's style was slightly rougher. Moreover, unlike the many mountain peaks, the Hunyuan heavenly sect headquarters occupied a huge mountain range. On the mountain range, there were countless palaces, pavilions, and courtyards. Each palace, courtyard, and pavilion contained a strong aura, and from time to time, the aura of a spirit and Qi unity stage expert would appear. However, Tsing Hui, who had been to the Heaven Wasteland domain more than once, naturally had far more experience than ordinary people. Although the Jin Wu religion headquarters had countless experts of the awakening stage, the true Qi stage, the spirit refining stage, and even the spirit and Qi unity stage, it was still inferior to the cultivation level of Martial Wasteland City. At the very least, Tsing Hui didn't feel the aura of a saint stage expert in the Jin Wu religion, and in Martial Wasteland City, even the vice president of the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce, Gong Xing, was a saint stage expert. Elder Tsing Hui, the palace in front is where Saint Girl Lai Wuyang lives. Under Qian Yang's lead, the Saint Wing Dragon Eagle landed in front of a large palace without any obstructions. Qian Yang stepped forward and respectfully introduced Tsing Hui. Very good. Tsing Hui nodded. The son-in-law is here, the son-in-law is here. At this moment, the maids in front of the palace sensed the commotion. After seeing Tsing Hui disembark from the Saint Wing Dragon Eagle with Qian Yang, they quickly cheered and headed inside the palace. On the way here, Tsing Hui had already contacted Lai Wuyang, and it was reasonable for Lai Wuyang to instruct everyone to pay attention to his movements. However, the way these maids addressed him made his heart darken. This Lai Wuyang. Could it be that he took this matter seriously? Elder Tsing Hui, I won't disturb your meeting with the saint girl. If there's anything you need, Elder Tsing Hui can contact me using the jade token that the sect leader gave you. That jade token is equivalent to our Jin Wu religion's honorary Grand Elder Jade token. Although it's not as powerful as a Grand Elder, it's not inferior to an ordinary Dharmaraja. In terms of prestige, it's even above a Dharmaraja. Thank you for your trouble. Tsing Hui knew that the jade token Zhu Xian gave him was extraordinary, but he didn't expect it to have such an inside story. Honorary Grand Elder. Power not inferior to a Dharmaraja. If Zhu Xian knew that the Jin Wu religion became the punching bag of the create-evolved mysterious sect because of him, who knew if he would still be so courteous to him? Son-in-law, please come in. When the young miss learned of son-in-law's arrival, she decided to end her cultivation and come out. Very soon, a Spirit Chi Unity stage girl stepped forward and respectfully led Tsing Hui into the palace. With his status as a Hunyuan Heaven Sect Grand Elder, Tsing Hui wasn't worried that Lai Wuyang would play any tricks. He immediately followed the girl, passing through many corridors and halls before arriving at Lai Wuyang's private courtyard. Son-in-law, the young miss will meet son-in-law alone inside. Please come in. The girl brought Tsing Hui to the entrance of the courtyard. She gestured with her hand, but stopped herself. Tsing Hui nodded. He naturally couldn't let a third person know what he and Lai Wuyang needed to discuss. As Tsing Hui stepped into the courtyard, a fiery red maple forest entered his sight. It was likely no less than 100 meters in circumference. Many of the leaves were red like fire, like a gorgeous sea of fire. Lai Wuyang was in a pavilion at the center of the maple forest. She was still wearing a fiery red tight dress, revealing her small white waist. She looked like a fire spirit. Lai Wuyang, you already know that I killed the create-evolved mysterious sect's Grand Elder Zuanyangzi, right? I received a message from our sect master. Moreover, I've already told him about this matter, and he agreed. Oh. Tsing Hui looked at Lai Wuyang. Your Jin Wu religion's sect master actually agreed to teach me the 6th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. You have to know that I'm not a member of your Jin Wu religion. Even if you're a member of the Jin Wu religion, if you don't make any contributions, I'm afraid you won't be able to learn the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. During this period, I naturally used some methods, such as teaching you a rubbing of the technique, letting you understand the wonders of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, but not being able to cultivate it, to attract you to join my Jin Wu religion and so on. As for the specifics, you don't need to ask. As Lai Wuyang spoke, she directly threw a jade talisman at Tsing Hui. You only need to judge whether this 6th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique is real or fake. Tsing Hui caught the jade talisman in his hand and scanned it with his consciousness. He carefully compared it with the 4th and 5th levels of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. After spending a full hour, he nodded. Saintess Lai Wuyang is indeed trustworthy. This is indeed the 6th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. Chapter 287. Of course. It's the first time we're working together, so I naturally have to show sufficient sincerity. Besides that, I've also prepared the Dragon Soul incense that Sect Master asked me to prepare for you. A box of Dragon Soul incense appeared in Lai Wuyang's hand as he spoke. Thank you, Sect Master Zhu. Tsing Hui, although the Hunyuan Heaven Sect attaches great importance to you and has even given you the position of Supreme Elder, there are still over a dozen Supreme Elders in the Hunyuan Heaven Sect who are on equal footing with you. Moreover, there are even several ancestors above you who can decide everything in the Hunyuan Heaven Sect. If you stay in the Hunyuan Heaven Sect, you'll have to rely on others. Why don't you just join my Jin Wu religion? If you can join my Jin Wu religion, then once I become the sect master of the Jin Wu religion, you can even become the sovereign sect master of my Jin Wu religion by relying on this fake relationship between us. At that time, you'll have a sacred sect in your hands, and you'll become the most powerful cultivator in the entire Eastern Wasteland. You'll have all sorts of resources, cultivation techniques, and everything else you need. Lai Wuyang still didn't forget to persuade Tsing Hui to join the Jin Wu religion at this moment. There's no need for that. I'm clearly aware of how great my ability is. The position of the sovereign sect master of the Jin Wu religion isn't something that I can hold with my current ability. It's better for me to stay quietly in the Life Alliance and be the Alliance Master and Hall Master of the Ocean Suppression Hall. As Tsing Hui spoke, he didn't continue on this topic with Lai Wuyang and asked instead, we mentioned earlier that your Jin Wu religion seems to want to purchase the Sun Crystal from me. May I know how your discussions have gone? I was just about to talk to you about this. Lai Wuyang's expression immediately turned serious. Our Jin Wu religion's grand elders have more or less prepared some Dao-carrying items, but there aren't many of them. They are also interested in purchasing them, and hope that Elder Tsing Hui can give our Jin Wu religion an affordable price on account of our Jin Wu religion's current worrying situation. It's not that I can't give you an affordable price. However, strictly speaking, the Great Sun Crystal is still an 8th-level heavenly treasure. It's not cheap. Your Jin Wu religion can't let me suffer too much. How about this, 1 Great Sun Crystal for 5 Dao runes, this is the best price I can give you. 5 Dao rhymes. Lai Wuyang instantly revealed a trace of a bitter expression when he heard this. How many Dao runes can the Grand Elders of our Jin Wu religion possess in all these years be added together? If it's 5 Dao runes for 1 Sun Crystal, then even if we're able to purchase some, it would be like trying to put out a burning cart with a cup of water at that time, and it wouldn't be of any use to the growth of our entire Jin Wu religion's strength. Why don't Prince Tsing Hui sell it to our Jin Wu religion at the price of 1 Dao rune? Our Jin Wu religion would definitely be endlessly grateful. 1 Dao rune. That's too low. Your Jin Wu religion is currently facing a calamity of annihilation. What you need to do now is to gather as many resources as possible and convert these resources into your own strength. No matter how good the Dao rune is, if no one can take out something that satisfies you in exchange for it, it won't be of any use. How about this, the two of us will announce to the outside world that we are in a relationship. In order to let the Jin Wu religion's sect leader and the various elders understand my sincerity towards your Jin Wu religion, I can lower the price by 1 Dao rune. I'll sell it to your Jin Wu religion at the price of 4 Dao runes for 1 Sun Crystal. You have to know, lowering the price by 1 Dao rune is equivalent to me losing a 5th-level divine weapon. What kind of person is Grand Elder Tsing Hui? What kind of status do you have? You spent so much of your wealth in the Life Alliance. Back then, you took out over 10 5th-level divine weapons in one go. Not only 5th-level divine weapons, you even had 6th-level divine weapons. Why would you care about losing a mere 5th-level divine weapon? However, Grand Elder Tsing Hui's words do make some sense. I can't let Grand Elder Tsing Hui lose too much. Thus, my Jin Wu religion is willing to take a step back and purchase the Sun Crystals from Grand Elder Tsing Hui at the price of 2 Dao runes for 1 Sun Crystal. Lai Wuyang said. This matter involved a profit of over 10 Dao runes. Both sides were unwilling to take a step back. They went back and forth, opposing each other with equal harshness. Just like that, they conversed for close to 2 hours. Finally, the two of them agreed on a price. They would purchase the sun crystals from Tsing-Hui at the price of 3 Dao runes for 1 sun crystal. How many sun crystals do you intend to purchase? It's not how many sun crystals we intend to purchase, but the resources we have on hand is only enough for us to purchase that many sun crystals. Lai Wuyang looked at Tsing-Hui with some resentment. Then, he took out many Dao runes from his personal space. I've collected a total of 60 Dao runes from our Jin Wu religion's elders and grand elders. In total, I can only purchase 20 sun crystals. 20 sun crystals, a total of 60 Dao runes. And the sun crystals he purchased from Galaxy Commerce could be purchased with 1 Dao rune. In other words, the cost of these 20 sun crystals was only 2 Dao runes, but the final profit was 58 Dao runes. This kind of profit could not be described as just a huge profit. Grand Elder Tsing-Hui, in fact, if you're willing to lower the price to 10 Dao runes for 4 sun crystals, I have confidence in pushing our total transaction to 80 Dao runes this time. Lai Wuyang watched as Tsing-Hui nimbly took out 20 sun crystals. His eyes flashed as he spoke again. 80 Dao runes, Tsing-Hui looked at Lai Wuyang. 80 Dao runes, he needed to pay 32 sun crystals. The cost was 2 Dao runes, but he gained a few dozen Dao runes for no reason. Saintess Lai Wuyang is a good schemer. I do have a lot of sun crystals in my hands. If I don't borrow your hands to sell them, I won't be able to sell them. 10 Dao runes for 4 sun crystals, then 10 Dao runes for 4 sun crystals. Grand Elder Tsing-Hui is straightforward. Our Jin Wu religion will always treat you as an ally. As Lai Wuyang spoke, he once again took out many Dao runes from his personal space and pushed them all in front of Tsing-Hui. Adding to the previous one, there were exactly 80 Dao runes. The Primal Chaos Treasure Pavilion was about to open. To obtain 80 Dao runes before the Primal Chaos Treasure Pavilion opened, Tsing-Hui's face revealed a trace of a smile. Very good, this is a very happy transaction. Tsing-Hui handed the sun crystals to Lai Wuyang. At the same time, he placed the 80 Dao runes into his personal space. The sun crystals were actually more valuable than the sun crystals. However, it was different from the sun crystals. If one wanted to absorb the energy within the sun crystals, it needed to be done step by step. If one wanted to completely refine the energy within it, it would probably take 3 to 4 years. Once it was refined, the benefits it would bring were obvious. If an early-stage prominent divine stage cultivator could refine 10 sun crystals, it wouldn't be difficult for their cultivation to break through to the peak of the prominent divine stage. These 32 sun crystals would definitely be able to increase the strength of the Golden Crow sect by quite a bit. It was even possible for their sect to give birth to a saint stage expert. Does Grand Elder Tsing-Hui have any more sun crystals? Tsing-Hui looked at Tsing-Hui swiftly handing over all the sun crystals and asked curiously. I plan to keep the rest for my own cultivation. Tsing-Hui said noncommittally. Grand Elder Tsing-Hui has misunderstood my meaning. Actually, if Grand Elder Tsing-Hui needs it, I can use the channels our Jin Wu religion has and help you continue to collect Dao runes. Then I'll buy it from you at the price of 10 Dao runes and 4 sun crystals. However, I'll need to collect some intermediate fees. As for how much I collect, that will depend on my own ability. What does Grand Elder Tsing-Hui think? Tsing-Hui looked at Lai Wuyang. His heart was moved. It had to be said that Lai Wuyang's brain worked very quickly. She actually thought of using his channels to make a profit for herself in such a short time. However, currently, Tsing-Hui's need for Dao runes was rather urgent. Adding that the cost of sun crystals wasn't high to him, he didn't reject it and directly agreed. I can give you the right to sell 4 sun crystals for 10 Dao runes. When you've accumulated enough Dao runes, then we can trade. Alright, then it's settled. When I've accumulated enough Dao runes, then I'll contact you in the Primal Chaos Temple. Xing Hui nodded. This matter has been settled, I'll take my leave. Please. Xing Hui immediately left Lai Wuyang's courtyard. Grand Elder Xing Hui is leaving. Outside the door, the Spirit Qi Uniting Stage servant girl smiled meaningfully at Xing Hui. Xing Hui naturally understood the meaning behind her smile and didn't mind. The future is long. Then, I'll respectfully welcome Grand Elder Xing Hui's next visit. Xing Hui nodded. He summoned the Saint Wing Dragon Hawk and quickly soared into the sky. He headed towards the ocean-suppressing palace. The Saint Wing Dragonhawk's flying speed wasn't considered slow. The key was that it had a stability that sword kinesis flight couldn't compare to. As long as a part of his mind was used to control it, the Saint Wing Dragonhawk would be able to maintain a constant speed. Even though the Jin Wu religion was over 60,000 kilometers away from Moon Lake Island, after 6 days, Xing Hui still easily crossed the distance between the two. After returning to the Life Moon Alliance, Xing Hui directly went to his palace to properly organize the gains from this trip to the Jin Wu religion. He'd spent 14 days to head to the Sun Crow sect to provide assistance this time, and he hadn't just obtained the Grand Sun Golden Crow technique, he'd even obtained 80 Dao auras from Lai Wuyang. It had practically completely replenished the Dao auras that he'd squandered from purchasing Soul Core energy earlier, and he could be said to have benefited greatly. After looking at the large number of Dao runes in his personal space, Xing Hui focused his mind on the Primal Chaos Temple and scanned his current accumulation. In another 22 days, the Primal Chaos level will reach level 30. Once I reach level 30, not only will I be able to open the Primal Chaos Temple, but I'll also be able to use the extremely mysterious teleportation technique. A technique that can teleport me to any place I've been to before. Thinking of the various magical effects of the teleportation technique, Xing Hui was a little excited. The plan of cultivating to shatter the vacuum in 10 years had undoubtedly been completely destroyed. According to his current cultivation progress, if he wanted to reach the level of Dong Qian, let alone 10 years, even if he was given another 20 or 30 years, he would not be able to step into that divine domain. Then, all his hopes of returning to Earth were pinned on the teleportation technique of level 30. Whether he could return to Earth, and whether he could fulfill the promise he had made to senior sister Jiang Ningji, would depend on 22 days later. Who? Xing Hui took a deep breath, suppressed the churning thoughts in his heart, and forced himself to calm down. 22 days. 22 days left. In these 22 days, he could not do nothing. He had already thoroughly comprehended the 5th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, and now he had the 6th level in his mind. In addition, he had a lot of Great Sun essence, Great Sun crystals and other things that he had bought from the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce. It was time to upgrade the Great Sun Golden Crow technique that was only at the peak of the 4th level. Chapter 288. Wonder Island. One of the islands at the forefront of the Create-Evolve Mysterious Sects Sea region. This island stretched out 80,000 kilometers out of the sea, and even though it was close to the outer sea, it was not far away. The many overlords in this sea area were all powerful existences at the 6th order level, and from time to time, there would be 7th order sea beasts appearing. For such a powerful island, the creation mystical sects forces were also unbelievably powerful. Not only did they build a large gate of fortune here, there were also 3 prominent sage stage supreme elders who took turns to guard the island. Even if there were class 7 sea beasts in the sea that wanted to stir up tsunamis and create havoc, they wouldn't be able to do anything to Wonder Island. Swish! At this moment, the Grand Elder in charge of Wonder Island, Reverend Miao Yu, was polishing his qi, making it more compatible with the qi of heaven and earth. In the void, a streak of light rapidly approached. Sect Master's Decree. Reverend Miao Yu reached out and caught the streak of light. His expression immediately froze as a cold glint flashed in his eyes. A moment later, he said to the boy attendant beside him, "Go invite Elder Shou Zhen and junior brother Miao Xian to see me." "Yes." The guard who received the order respectfully complied and quickly retreated. There was usually only one of the three prominent divine stage supreme elders on the Wonderland Island, and they were responsible for monitoring the movements of the sea region. At the same time, they were responsible for giving orders for the development of the sea region. The other two supreme elders were focused on polishing their true qi, hoping to reach the saint stage. In the world, there were only a few people like Tsing Hui and Nailan Fei who had reached the spirit and qi stage at such a young age. Whether it was the creative all-mysterious sect or the Hunyuan heaven sect, those who could step into the prominent saint stage were usually over 200 years old. A cultivator's lifespan would only increase when they reached the awakening stage or the spirit and qi stage. When they reached the golden core stage of the saint stage, they would have a lifespan of 3,000 years. Only then could they truly be called immortal. Before that, their lifespan was only as long as a mortal's and was far from immortality. Under such circumstances, apart from cultivators who felt that they had no hope of attaining immortality, everyone else spent most of their time in secluded cultivation and wouldn't be distracted by miscellaneous matters. Grand Elders Shou Zhen and Miao Xian were no exception. Not long after the guard left, two streams of light simultaneously descended upon Reverend Miao Yu's courtyard. "Miao Yu, what's the matter? Could it be that there are some wild beasts that don't know what's good for them coming to our Wonder Island to cause trouble?" Miao Xian and Shoujin asked as they stepped into the room. "The sect leader has ordered us to expand towards the East Sea and wipe out the Life Alliance stationed there. Elders, you will understand when you see it." Miao Yu didn't say much and just handed the sect leader's decree to the two of them. "East Sea Life League? Is the Life Alliance worth the sect leader's personal decree?" That's right. Even though the Life Moon Alliance has accumulated quite a bit of power in the East Sea, wouldn't it be easy for the Creation Mystical sect to wipe them out? So what if he joined the Hunyuan Heaven sect and received its protection? As long as we can destroy the Life Moon Alliance, the Hunyuan Heaven sect won't dare to send a large number of people to snatch it. When Miao Xian and Shou Zhen saw that Miao Yu had actually specially notified them about this matter, they both felt that Miao Yu was making a fuss over nothing. Miao Yu didn't respond and just said, "Elders, it won't be too late to take a look at the sect leader's decree first." Seeing this, the two of them had no choice but to scan the decree one by one. When they understood the contents, their expressions changed drastically. Chou Tsing Hui is really bold. Hunyuan Heaven Sect Supreme Elder. The Hunyuan Heaven Sect actually promoted Chou Tsing Hui to a Supreme Elder. This is troublesome. The Supreme Elder's identity isn't the main point is the strength that this child has shown. Miao Yu slowly said, "In the past, our Creation Mystical sect didn't have any enemies in the East Sea. Even if the other sacred sects had planted spies in the East Sea and secretly supported some forces, once their identities were exposed, they would immediately attract the attention of the entire East Sea. Our Creation Mystical sect only needed to advance step by step, and we would eventually be able to wipe out the entire East Sea. However, the appearance of the Life Moon Alliance has caused some unforeseen changes to our stable strategy. I'm curious, why didn't Chou Tsing Hui cause an uproar in the East Sea when he brought the Life Moon Alliance to join the Hunyuan Heaven sect? After all, it's taboo in the East Sea to collude with the 10 great sacred sects, so why did the other forces remain indifferent? I've more or less heard about this matter. The Life Moon Alliance joining the Hunyuan Heaven sect has indeed caused dissatisfaction among many East Sea forces. These East Sea forces even spontaneously organized to fight against the Life Moon Alliance. However, the Life Moon Alliance is too powerful, and their resistance is just a cup of water on a burning cart of firewood. Even their greatest trump card in the East Sea can't do anything to the Life Moon Alliance. Several forces tried to lure the Overlord-level beasts into the Moon Lake Island, the headquarters of the Life Moon Alliance, but for some reason, the Overlord-level beasts all left once they came within 1,000 kilometers of the Moon Lake Island, making their greatest trump card useless. Miao Yu said. Those overlord-level beasts don't dare to come within 1,000 kilometers of the Moon Lake Island. Could it be that the news from the Life Alliance is true? Miao Xian looked surprised. What news? I heard this news by chance when I was in the Primal Chaos Divine Hall. Rumor has it that the Alliance Master of the Life Moon Alliance, Cho Tsing Hui, has formed an alliance with the strongest overlord in the East Sea, a Class 9 Xuanwu. They will advance and retreat together. It's because of the Class 9 Xuanwu's protection that the Moon Lake Island has become a forbidden area for many sea beasts. TSK, Class 9 Saint Beast. How is that possible? A Class 9 Saint Beast is a terrifying existence that hides deep in the East Sea. Even our create-evolved mysterious sex Daoist Tian Ding can't harm it. If it hides deep in the sea and doesn't show up easily, even powerful experts can't do anything to it. Why would such a supreme overlord need to form an alliance with Cho Tsing Hui, a little Qingming stage cultivator, to advance and retreat together? Shoujin said disapprovingly. Miao Yu also nodded. I have heard this news before. The so-called alliance can only be formed when the two parties are equal in strength. The difference between a Qingming stage cultivator and a Class 9 Saint Beast is more than just a little bit. Especially in a special environment like the East Sea, a Class 9 Saint Beast can seize the opportunity to kill Cho Tsing Hui, a little Qingming stage cultivator, with one slap. How can the two parties form an alliance under such circumstances? I estimate that Cho Tsing Hui probably used a special method to pay tribute every year in exchange for a non-aggression agreement between the Life Moon Alliance and the Class 9 Saint Beast Xuanwu. Although Cho Tsing Hui is only at the Qingming stage, if the two elders treat him as an ordinary Qingming stage cultivator, then you are gravely mistaken. Don't forget that the sect master's decree said that Cho Tsing Hui had assisted the people of the Jin Wu religion and colluded with the Hunyuan heaven sect's two grand elders, Yuan He and Qin Zhen, to kill our create-evolved mysterious sect's grand elder, Zuanyangzi. From this, it can be seen that his battle strength is not inferior to the illustrious saint stage. Otherwise, it can't explain why he was listed as a grand elder in the Hunyuan heaven sect. Miao Xian said solemnly. I know of the Hunyuan heaven sect's Qin Zhen. She is a powerful figure who can manifest the heavenly Peng battle body with the help of a supreme treasure. Zuanyangzi is not her match in a one-on-one fight. With Qin Zhen's cooperation in Cho Tsing Hui's sudden attack, it is not impossible for Zuanyangzi to be caught off guard. Moreover, Tsing Hui's strength is built on the foundation of the high-level son of Chaos Saint Art. As long as we avoid him when he uses the Saint Art, what kind of storm can he stir up? That's true. Illustrious Saint stage cultivators like them who rely on the Saint Art can't be compared to us. Seeing this, Miao Xian did not insist. In short, we just have to be careful. Don't fail miserably when the time comes. In that case, we will follow the sect master's orders and change the direction of our development. We will directly approach the East Sea. If I remember correctly, although we have not built the Gate of Fortune on the Flying Snow Island, Frigid Snow Island, and Floating Snow Island in the East Sea, the relevant planning has been done very well. I will have to trouble Elder Shou Zhen and junior brother Miao Xian to secretly build these Gate of Fortune. If we can build these Gate of Fortune, we will have a foundation in the East Sea. At that time, it will not be difficult to sweep the East Sea. That's right. The last time the East Sea plan failed at the Flying Snow Island. Where we failed, we have to stand up. I will send a message to the sect master to threaten the Limitless Sword sect and the Jin Wu religion. We will use these two battles to attract the attention of the other saint sects in the continent. At the same time, we will work in the dark and try to complete the reconstruction of these three Gate of Fortune without anyone noticing. Shou Zhen nodded and turned to Miao Yu. Elder Miao Yu, I will leave the matter of the Island of Wonders to you. The two of us will go to the Flying Snow Island. You have to be careful here. Don't worry, there is a large Gate of Fortune on the Island of Wonders. Sitting in the large gate of fortune, we can borrow the endless power of the gate of fortune. Even if a Saint Realm expert comes personally, I will dare to fight him head-on. Furthermore, the Class 7 sea beasts in this sea region have already been subdued by us. I don't think these beasts will have the guts to invade our creation mysterious sect. Yes, yes. Shou Zhen and Miao Xian nodded repeatedly. Let's not delay any longer. We will bring people and set off to manage the East Sea and arrange for the reconstruction of the creation mysterious sect. At this moment, Tsing Hui, who was concentrating on cultivating the fifth stage of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique in seclusion, didn't know that because he had killed Xuanyangzi and exposed enough of a threat, the creation mysterious sect had changed their overseas strategy and turned their spearhead to his life alliance. He was now using the Great Sun Crystal to transform the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. He had seen the divine beast Golden Crow's true form with his own eyes. Compared to the Torch Dragon's divine soul in his spiritual world, the Golden Crow's divine soul was many times clearer and more real. Now, with the continuous replenishment of power, streams of light were emitted from the Golden Crow's divine soul and constantly penetrated his body, transforming his body and spirit into the divine beast Golden Crow. During the transformation, the temperature around him kept rising, causing many voids in the cultivation room to spontaneously combust without fire. Such a huge commotion naturally shocked the people of the Life Alliance. At this moment, they were shocked to discover that their leader Tsing Hui actually cultivated 2 meridians at the same time. At this moment, the people of the Life Alliance, who were almost certain that there was an almighty behind their leader, no longer had any doubts about Tsing Hui's background. They were all excited as they stared at the cloud of fire that was gradually condensing. Even without Ling Yu's instructions, these elders of the Life Alliance had already spontaneously guarded the surroundings of the Full Moon Palace. Anyone who dared to approach the Full Moon Palace at this moment and affect their leader's cultivation would immediately face the thunderous retaliation of all the powerhouses of the Life Alliance. Chapter 289. I have mastered the 5th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. The raging Golden Crow true chi in Tsing Hui's body gradually calmed down. At this point, his cultivation room had already been burned, and the floor had almost turned into glass. However, his mind was not focused on the glass on the floor. Instead, he turned his attention to the 6th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. Or rather, it was a secret technique derived from the 6th level. The Eternal Blazing Sunday. The Eternal Blazing Sun that could only be refined by the 6th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. However, if a green Netherworld realm expert's cultivation was good enough, he could also refine the Eternal Blazing Sun at this level. Furthermore, he could melt the Eternal Blazing Sun that belonged to him into his body and detonate it at a critical moment to burn the sky and boil the sea. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. Tsing Hui calmed his mind and sensed the true chi in his body. He quickly understood the pros and cons of refining the Eternal Blazing Sunday. I have cultivated divine-grade true chi and gang chi, and the energy is extremely pure. It is not difficult to refine the Eternal Blazing Sun in my body. However, the key is that the total amount of true chi in my body is still lacking. If I want to successfully refine the Eternal Blazing Sun, I either have to reach the peak of the Green Netherworld realm or use the Great Sun Essence or Great Sun Crystal to continuously recover my true chi in the process of refining the Eternal Blazing Sun. After pondering for a while, Tsing Hui focused his mind on the Chaos Temple. There was no need to use the Great Sun Essence or Great Sun Crystal to refine the Eternal Blazing Sunday. It would take too much energy and time. Therefore, he had to reach the peak of the Green Netherworld realm as soon as possible. Tsing Hui would have a headache if he wanted to make a breakthrough in the Torch Sun Sutra in a short period of time. However, the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, buzz buzz. Just as Tsing Hui was about to head to the sky to exchange for the golden blood and head to the core of the Great Sun to observe the divine beast Golden Crow true body's cultivation, a slight tremor appeared in the Chaos Temple. Following that, Tsing-Hui clearly sensed a majestic treasure pavilion rising out of thin air outside his personal space. An endless aura spread out from the treasure pavilion, filled with mystery. Qing Su was slightly stunned when he saw this mysterious treasure pavilion that seemed extremely close yet also extremely far away hovering outside his personal space. Then, he quickly reacted. Chaos Treasure Pavilion. In the next moment, he seemed to have thought of something and looked at his chaotic rank. 30. Primal Chaos Level, 30. Unknowingly, 22 days had passed. His chaotic realm had already surmounted the threshold of the 29th rank in one go, and he'd advanced to the 30th rank that was equivalent to the top ranks of chaotic children. The Chaos Treasure Pavilion would naturally appear once the chaos level rose to the 30th level. From today onwards, he would be able to purchase countless top-rate treasures from the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. These top-rate treasures were usually able to be used by Saint Realm experts, and they were unbelievably precious. Level 30. I've finally reached level 30. Now that the Son of Chaos had reached the 30th step, Qing Su actually did not check out the heavenly resources that had appeared in the Chaotic Treasure Pavilion first. Instead, he focused his attention on the new characteristics that had appeared after reaching the 30th step. Teleport. It was a teleportation technique that a Tier 30 Son of Chaos possessed. Without any reason, Tsing-Hui directly assigned this new level to the teleportation technique. He didn't even care too much about the incarnation technique, which was only one step away from reaching Tier 5. Teleportation Technique, Tier 1. As Tsing-Hui focused his attention on the teleportation technique, the consciousness in his mind seemed to undergo endless changes. The concepts of space and matter gradually dissipated in his mind. He seemed to have turned into a pure thought, ignoring the obstacles of space and matter. It was as if he had advanced to a higher dimension in one go, feeling the world he was in from a completely different perspective. Although he couldn't hear or see clearly, that mysterious and indescribable feeling was entrenched in his heart. As long as he moved his mind, he seemed to be able to reach any place where his thoughts extended. Teleportation Technique. It really is as the rumors say. It can teleport people to any place they imagine. Tsing-Hui was faintly excited and couldn't wait to use the teleportation technique to try to return to Earth. However, after a moment, he calmed down. Not to mention whether the teleportation technique could teleport him to Earth, if it could be completed and he directly returned to Earth, he would have to wait another year if he wanted to come back. After all, in this world, he could obtain immortality, cultivate the Sage Gold Core, and live for 3,000 years. Such a temptation was quite significant to Tsing-Hui. It was unrealistic to say that he wouldn't come back to Earth after returning. In this way, a round trip would take at least a year. It would be inappropriate for him to ignore the affairs of the Life Alliance for a year, so he had to make some arrangements in advance. Besides, Tsing-Hui's gaze turned and finally left the teleportation technique. He landed on the Chaos Treasure Pavilion that was suspended in the air outside his personal space. Every time the Chaos Treasure Pavilion appeared, 10 heavenly treasures would appear for cultivators to purchase and use. Some of these heavenly treasures were extremely beneficial to cultivators, while others were of little value. For example, the blood of the torch dragon of the Divine Realm and the blood of holy beasts of the Divine Realm. The corresponding level of the treasures was extremely high, but it didn't necessarily mean that the 10 heavenly treasures in each round were expensive. In addition, the 10 heavenly treasures displayed in the Chaos Treasure Pavilion didn't stay the same. Under certain circumstances, these 10 heavenly treasures would be replaced by other heavenly treasures and wait for the next round of updates. As for the frequency of this happening, it was from 1 month to 10 years. Several top sons of chaos who urgently needed the heavenly treasures in the Chaos Treasure Pavilion had experimented and kept the Chaos Treasure Pavilion open. During this period, some people changed the treasures in the Chaos Treasure Pavilion more than 10 times in 10 years, while some people changed it once or twice. No one knew the conditions of this change, but they vaguely guessed that it had something to do with the Taoist instrument that contained Taoist rhymes. Due to the uncertainty of time, the 29th level Sons of Chaos would wait for 10 years to ensure that nothing would go wrong. They would then spend 100 Taoist rhymes to raise their Chaos level to the 30th level and purchase the treasures in the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. There were also rich and overbearing people who raised their Chaos level every 2 or 3 years to see if the treasures in the Chaos Treasure Pavilion had been changed. However, when the Chaos level fell from the 30th level to the 29th level, the Taoist rhymes of the current level would be reset to 0. It was equivalent to paying 100 Taoist rhymes to take a look. If the heavenly treasures in the Chaos Treasure Pavilion that could be exchanged for hadn't been changed, then even the 30th level Sons of Chaos would lament the loss. I wonder which 10 heavenly treasures I can exchange for in this first opening of the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. With a trace of anticipation, Xing Hui directly split a trace of his spirit and probed into the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. As his spirit entered the Chaos Treasure Pavilion, the surrounding environment suddenly changed. A hall filled with an ancient aura appeared in front of him. The hall broke the visual convention and was surrounded by 10 directions. Each direction was like a wall sealed in ice, and there were all kinds of divine objects inside. The first thing Xing Hui saw was the wall in front of him. There was a young beast there. A young Qilin beast. The divine beast Qilin. Xing Hui's breathing stopped for a moment. Although it was only a young Qilin beast, when Xing Hui extended his spirit to the young Qilin beast, the terrifying pressure that belonged to a divine beast still swept over continuously. It made Xing Hui feel suffocated. An almighty. A young Qilin beast that wasn't inferior to an almighty. One had to know that the living creatures purchased in the Chaos Treasure Pavilion weren't responsible for taming them. If one couldn't tame them after purchasing them, they would escape directly and even kill the Son of Chaos who exchanged for them. They would be free from then on. There had been such unlucky people in the past. Therefore, after sensing the terrifying aura of the young Qilin beast that wasn't inferior to an almighty, Xing Hui's face darkened. He immediately shifted his gaze and didn't even bother to look at its exchange price. Sealed in the second ice wall was a gemstone that flickered with colorful flowing light. Xing Hui split a part of his spirit to sense it for a moment and was instantly shocked. Boundary Stone. The last of the 6 stages of the Divine Realm was called, One Thought to Create a World. Cultivators could open up their own world and store their qi, magical powers, and treasures in it. One only needed to imagine how incredible that realm was. The Boundary Stone was a treasure that was needed to open up a world in the One Thought to Create a World realm. It had incredible benefits for stabilizing the many laws in the world. Good stuff, this is really good stuff. If this treasure appeared in the Divine Wilderness era, countless invincible Divine Realm figures would have broken their skulls and killed each other until rivers of blood flowed. Xing Hui couldn't help but sigh from the bottom of his heart. However, after sighing, his face couldn't help twitching slightly. A treasure that could make many invincible Divine Realm figures break their skulls and kill each other until rivers of blood flowed in the Divine Wilderness era. What use was it to him, a nobody who hadn't even reached the Vision Divine Realm? Not to mention that it was useless to him, even if he brought it to Heaven Wasteland, there probably wouldn't be many people who could use it. In the entire Heaven Wasteland world, let alone a supreme expert who could create a world with one thought to create a world, there probably hadn't even been a cultivator of 2 or 3 stages higher. Although I know that many treasures in the Chaos Treasure Pavilion are very useful to invincible Divine Realm figures, you don't have to be so high profile, right? Xing Hui complained in his heart. After a while, his gaze fell on the 3rd ice wall. Dragon Pearl. The Dragon Pearl of a Divine Realm True Dragon. This was more precious than the blood essence of a true dragon and was equivalent to the core of a divine beast. A Divine Realm True Dragon could have 81 drops of blood essence in its body, but there was only 1 Dragon Pearl. This was equivalent to the essence of a true dragon and was also the place where the dragon's soul resided. Xing Hui immediately looked down. The price. 360 Tao rhythms. After a moment of silence, Tsing Hui looked at the fourth wall without hesitation. After being shocked 3 times in a row, the first thing Tsing Hui looked at was not the item sealed in the fourth wall, but the price. 100 Tao rhythms. Although he had less than 100 Tao rhythms, he was only 10 Tao rhythms away from 100. Seeing that there was hope of buying this item, Tsing Hui suddenly looked up. The essence of the golden crow. It contained the blood essence of the divine beast golden crow. Chapter 290. Golden Crow's Soul Essence. Tsing Hui's eyes lit up at the sight of this item. The heavens are really helping me to cultivate the golden crow battle body. With this golden crow soul essence, I will have a divine-grade battle body. Tsing Hui smiled from the bottom of his heart. Sure enough, compared to the shining dragon bloodline, the Great Sun Golden Crow technique was obviously more suitable for him. Now that his Great Sun Golden Crow technique had reached the 5th stage and his cultivation had broken through to the blue underworld realm, he only needed to go to the core of the Great Sun to observe the real body of the Golden Crow divine beast. With the help of the endless essence of the Great Sun, he would be able to easily step into the peak of the blue underworld realm in 1 or 2 months. Then, he would refine this Golden Crow soul essence, rush to the Vision Divine stage, and condense the divine-grade Golden Crow battle body. Good. The Chaos Treasure Pavilion really lives up to its name. The only problem now is that I don't have enough Tao runes. Although I obtained 80 Tao runes from the Jin Wu religion and 9 Tao runes from the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce, if I want to go to the core of the Great Sun to cultivate for 2 months and buy this Golden Crow soul essence, I still need 40 Tao runes. I have to find a way to make up for these 40 Tao runes as soon as possible. Countless thoughts flashed through Tsing Hui's mind. Deliver goods to the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce. With his current 4th stage transformation technique, he could do it in 1 or 2 months. However, if he delivered goods too frequently, it would attract the attention of others. This was not appropriate for him, who was only at the blue underworld realm. After a moment, he looked toward the 5th ice wall. Perhaps, he could use the Chaos Treasure Pavilion items that he did not need to exchange for more Tao runes. Star Balance Stone. A treasure for cultivating the Tao of Stars. There doesn't seem to be any experts cultivating the Tao of Stars in the infinite wasteland world. It's priced at 60 Tao runes. If I can't sell it, I'll suffer a loss. I have to buy something more convenient to sell. Primordial Spirit Chi. This is Primordial Spirit Chi. As expected, the Primordial Spirit Chi in the Chaos Treasure Pavilion is priced at 10 Tao runes, half the price of the Primordial Spirit Chi sold on the market. Unfortunately, there is only one Primordial Spirit Chi. These primordial heavenly pearls. It contains a kind of mysterious power that can interfere with the normal operation of natural formations. It also has a pretty good weakening effect on man-made formations. This object can be considered as a target. Heavenly Abode Divine Stone. A Saint Realm warrior could unleash a strike that could shatter a vacuum by drawing out its power. Was this the Space Understanding Grass? After consuming it, it could greatly increase one's perception for 3 days. Wait a minute, what the hell was the 10,000 taels of gold inside the 10th wall? Are they here to make up the numbers? Tsing Hui looked at them one by one. The treasures produced by the Primal Chaos Treasure Pavilion were definitely top-quality treasures. Every single one of the 10 treasures was profound and extraordinary, and they each had their own miraculous effects. Except for that so-called 10,000 taels of gold, unfortunately, without exception, the prices of these items were extremely high. The Primordial Spirit Chi was actually the cheapest among them. Above it were the Void Understanding Grass, Primordial Heavenly Pearls, Grotto Heaven Divine Stones, and so on. What puzzled Tsing Hui the most was that the Primal Chaos Treasure Pavilion actually dared to sell the 10,000 taels of gold at the price of 40 Daoist rhymes. Xing Hui really wanted to complain and ask if the Primal Chaos Treasure Pavilion would recycle the gold. Even if it was 1/10 or 1/100th of the gold, he could sell it however much he had. Among all the items, the best ones to sell are the Primordial Spirit Chi and the Space Understanding Grass. However, the Primordial Spirit Chi can only bring me a profit of 10 Taoist rhymes at most, and the profit from the Space Understanding Grass will not exceed 15. Xing Hui wanted to obtain a profit of 40 Taoist rhymes in one go, and his only hope was the Primordial Heavenly Pearl. The Primordial Heavenly Pearl had 34 Taoist rhymes, and the market price was between 55 to 60 Taoist rhymes. No matter how he calculated, the profit he could obtain would be more than 20 Taoist rhymes. Especially if he met a cultivator who urgently needed the Primordial Heavenly Pearl to break the formation, it would not be difficult for him to raise the price to 60 Taoist rhymes. In the Eastern Wilderness, only the Creation Mystical sect had mastered the mysteries of formations. Other sects might have formations, but they were like dogs instead of tigers. They had wasted a lot of natural treasures for nothing. However, the infinite wasteland domain and other prosperous continents were different. Some continents might be filled with formations, and if one did not have the means to break the formation, they would not be able to continue. In such a continent, the Primordial Heavenly Pearl naturally had an extraordinary value. It is still unknown whether the teleportation technique can successfully send me back to Earth. If the teleportation technique fails, I will waste a year. I might as well collect all these materials properly and then proceed with the teleportation technique. This way, even if the teleportation technique really fails and I am teleported to an unfamiliar area, I can still cultivate in seclusion there for a year. I can also use the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce to put the Primordial Heavenly Pearl on the agenda. Xing Hui had waited for a few years, and he was not in a hurry to wait for 1 or 2 months. He glanced at the Taoist rhymes in his hand, 89. The Primordial Heavenly Pearl had 34 Taoist rhymes, the Primordial Spirit Chi had 10 Taoist rhymes, the Space Understanding Grass had 25 Taoist rhymes. He quickly squandered all 69 Taoist rhymes. As for the remaining items, they could not be bought with the mere 20 Taoist rhymes he had. After buying these things, Xing Hui did not hesitate. He directly went to the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce and asked for a spiritual imprint. Swoosh! The next moment, Xing Hui directly operated the incarnation technique. Following the location set by the spiritual imprint, he directly broke through the void and headed toward the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce. In an instant, he had already condensed vitality in a courtyard outside the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce and manifested. Senior Dong Yang. Outside the courtyard, Gong Xing immediately put down all the matters in his hands and greeted him. President Gong Xing, Xing Hui nodded to Gong Xing. This time, I came to the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce to ask President Gong Xing for help with a few matters. Senior Dong Yang, please tell me. If I may ask, how long does Senior Dong Yang plan to stay in our Chamber of Commerce? The President of our Chamber of Commerce would like to meet Senior Dong Yang personally. The President of the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce? Xing Hui was a little puzzled. However, he was now busy experimenting with the teleportation technique and wanted to accumulate Taoist rhymes as soon as possible. He did not have time to go to the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce's headquarters. He immediately said, "Let's wait for the future. There will be a chance." Gong Xing was a little disappointed when he heard this, but he still respectfully responded with a bow. "Yes, Senior Dong Yang, what can I do for you?" Xing Hui stretched out his hand and took out the Yuan Tian Pearl and Space Grass. "I want to sell these 2 treasures through the channels of the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce." This is, as the president of the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce's Martial Desolation City branch, Gong Xing was naturally knowledgeable. He immediately recognized the treasures in Xing Hui's hands, and his eyes suddenly lit up. Yuan Tian Pearl and Space Grass. Good stuff, these are really good stuff. Senior Dong Yang wants to sell these 2 treasures. I can apply to the headquarters to buy the Yuan Tian Pearl for 60 Daoist rhymes and the Space Grass for 40 Daoist rhymes. What do you think? 60, 40, exactly 100 Daoist rhymes. Tsing Hui's heart skipped a beat. The price that Gong Xing offered was considered high on the market. Even if it was taken out for an auction, the price would probably not be much higher. If it was a smaller auction, the final price might not even reach 100 Daoist rhymes. When he bought these two treasures, he still had 20 Daoist rhymes left. Now that he had 100 Daoist rhymes, he only needed to make another trip for Gong Xing and earn 10 Daoist rhymes to accumulate the resources to cultivate the Great Sun Golden Crow technique to the 6th level. It would also save him the time to wait for the auction. Okay, 100 Daoist rhymes it is. In addition, since I'm already at the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce, I might as well deliver the goods for you. The profit must not be less than 10 Daoist rhymes. Junior understands. Junior will arrange it for Senior Dong Yang. Seeing that Tsing Hui had agreed, Gong Xing's face lit up with a hint of joy. Go quickly. After this matter, I will be delayed for a year. I'm afraid I won't be able to deliver goods for the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce for the next year. A year? It's okay, Senior Dong Yang's matter is more important. Tsing Hui nodded. A transaction of 100 Daoist rhymes was considered a large transaction for the Martial Desolate City Chamber of Commerce. Naturally, a branch in Martial Desolate City could not provide so many Daoist rhymes. Tsing Hui was not in a hurry and just waited patiently. He did not have to wait for too long. In the face of such a large-scale transaction, the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce obviously attached great importance to it. In less than a day, Wu Chu, who had been in contact with Tsing Hui several times, had already appeared in the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce. He was accompanied by 4 4th-level Saint Realm experts who had cultivated the immortal Golden Core. This was because the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce could not send Almighties into this area. Otherwise, the Daoist rhymes of 100 Daoist rhymes would have to be personally escorted by Almighties. Junior Wu Chu greets Senior Dong Yang. As soon as they arrived at the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce's branch, Wu Chu hurriedly stepped forward and bowed respectfully. Tsing Hui, a little blue netherworld realm cultivator, had a certain degree of immunity to the salute of a Saint Realm expert like Wu Chu. After nodding slightly, he said bluntly, "Let's proceed with the transaction. I still have things to do." As he spoke, he had already handed the Heavenly Origin Bead and Space Understanding Grass to Gong Xing. "Senior, please take a look." Wu Chu offered more than 30 Daoist rhymes in one go. Tsing Hui took the Daoist rhymes. The Chaos Temple had reminded him that there were a total of 112 Daoist rhymes of 112 Daoist rhymes of 112 Daoist rhymes of the 12 Daoist rhymes of these Daoist rhymes would be his reward for the next delivery. The number is correct. Tsing Hui said and put all these things into his personal space. When the few Golden Core Realm cultivators who came with Wu Chu saw this, they were naturally envious again. With the Avatar technique and a 5th-level personal space, he could obtain at least 20 Daoist rhymes of income in a year. If they could also have such a level of chaos, they would not have to worry about resources for cultivation. When delivering the goods, I will ask you about the target's spiritual imprint. Senior Dong Yang, you can go by yourself. This time, the goods only need to be delivered within 6 months. Okay. Tsing Hui responded and his avatar immediately dissipated, sweeping up waves of Yuanqi hurricanes in the courtyard. Gong Xing waved his hand and dissipated the hurricanes into nothingness. At the same time, 2 treasures, the Heavenly Yuan Bead and the Space Understanding Grass, appeared in his hand. The Heavenly Yuan Bead is better, but the Space Understanding Grass is an extinct treasure on Tianhuan region. It can only be produced by the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. Could Senior Dong Yang be an expert who opened the Chaos Treasure Pavilion? Wu Chu looked at the 2 treasures in Gong Xing's hand, especially the Space Understanding Grass, and asked with sparkling eyes. Currently, we already have a good relationship with this elder. As long as we maintain it, there will come a day when this elder will be completely at ease and come to trade with us. At that time, we will naturally know if he has opened the Primal Chaos Treasure Pavilion. Gong Xing smiled and then looked at the heavenly yuan bead in his hand. I remember that a sacred cave abode appeared in the flame-barren state, and that cave abode is protected by many formations. It seems that we will have to use this cave abode as an excuse to advertise the auction of this heavenly yuan bead. Chapter 291. I have waited for more than 5 years, I am not in a hurry to wait for 1 or 2 months. Tsing Hui muttered to himself as he felt the weakness in his body. Moments later, he focused his attention on the 6th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. He continued to break down and study this level of technique, pondering over the many changes within it. At the same time, he compared it to the true form of the divine beast Golden Crow that he had seen with his own eyes and completely perfected it. 10 days of weakness quickly passed. After getting rid of the state of weakness and adjusting his mental state to the peak, Tsing Hui's figure flashed and already appeared in the sky. In the sky, Tsing Hui's footsteps were a little hesitant. Zhangjin Shangren obviously thought highly of him, and would try his best to satisfy any of his requests. If he asked to borrow some golden blood to cultivate in the core of the Great Sun, Zhangjin Shangren would certainly not refuse, but this way. He and Zhangjin Shangren had a great relationship. But soon, he cut off this hesitation. Even if the transmission technique can return to Earth, it is not like I will never return. After a year, I will deal with the matters on Earth, and eventually return to Heaven Wasteland to pursue the path of immortality. At that time, I will slowly repay those favors. And if the transmission technique can't let me directly return to Earth, then I will have to stay on Heaven Wasteland for decades or even hundreds of years, until I reach the realm of crushing vacuum, and then there is hope to leave. At that time, it will be much easier to repay the favor of Zhangjin Shangren. Thinking of this, Tsing Hui made a decision in his heart. His figure flashed and already appeared outside the book creation hall. Senior brother Pak Hui. Seeing the arrival of Tsing Hui, Yuling showed a smile on her face. Senior brother hasn't come for a while. I have been concentrating on cultivation during this time, so I can't spare any time. Tsing Hui said, glancing in the direction of the book creation hall. Is the esteemed lord here? The esteemed lord is not in the hall, but I will ask for you. Yuling said, quickly took out a jade talisman and sent a message. Not long after, her face showed a joyful expression. The esteemed lord will be back in 30 minutes, the esteemed lord asked senior brother Pak Hui to wait in the book creation hall for a while. Thank you. I wouldn't dare. You're the favorite of His Excellency, and you're very likely to become his disciple in the future. I'm not even a nominal disciple of His Excellency. It's just that His Excellency likes me and keeps me by his side because he thinks I'm smart. If senior fellow apprentice Pak Hui becomes His Excellency's disciple in the future, please put in a good word for me in front of His Excellency. Become the disciple of Zhangjin Exalted Master. Tsing Hui was startled, but he smiled bitterly and said, I'm afraid the Venerable Master might not be willing to accept me. That can't be. If the Venerable Master didn't want to take you in as a disciple, why would he think so highly of you? Could it be that you are a relative of the Venerable Master? Tsing Hui shook his head, unwilling to explain too much on this topic. If there is a chance, I will propose to His Excellency to accept you as a disciple. Then thank you senior fellow apprentice Pak Hui. With senior fellow apprentice Pak Hui's words, this matter is most likely going to happen. When senior fellow apprentice Pak Hui comes to Heaven Wasteland, junior sister will certainly invite senior fellow apprentice to thank senior fellow apprentice for his help. It's not set in stone yet, you don't have to thank me. I don't know whether this matter will be successful or not. In the end, it still depends on what His Excellency wants. Tsing Hui and Yuling chatted, and soon, a stream of light had fallen into the book creation hall. Well, His Excellency is back. You are already familiar with the book Creation Hall, go in. Xing Hui nodded, stepped into the book Creation Hall, and came directly to the study of Zhang Zhen, esteemed master. Greetings to His Excellency. Well, what are you here for? I want to go to the core of the Great Sun again to cultivate, and use the golden blood to transform my cultivation base. I hope His Excellency can make an exception. Go to the core of the Great Sun. Zhang Zhen, esteemed master, frowned. How is your cultivation of the method of transforming into virtual qi? It has reached the small success stage. Small success stage. Zhang Zhen, esteemed master's face relaxed a little. Since your method of transforming into virtual qi has reached the small success stage, it is okay to improve your cultivation base, but you have to pay attention to yourself and cultivate the method of transforming into virtual qi to the great success stage as soon as possible. Only when you have reached the great success stage can you really be said to have a smooth journey before you reach the transformative stage. I understand. I will try my best to cultivate the method of transforming into virtual qi to the great success stage before I reach the transformative stage. Well, cultivate in the core of the Great Sun for a month, a portion of golden blood, and 15 Tao rhythms. When someone from Tianqiong wants to go to the eastern wilderness for a transaction, I will inform you to make up for the Tao vessel. Thank you, His Excellency. Xing Hui bowed respectfully. Only he could have such treatment, to enter the core of the Great Sun in advance without turning in his Tao rhythms. If it were other people, even if they were high-ranking members, there would be no such thing as credit. This is the golden blood. Come with me to the core of the Great Sun. As Zhang Zhen, esteemed master, spoke, he led Xing Hui straight to the core of the Great Sun. This was the third time that Xing Hui had ascended to the core of the Great Sun, and could be said to be familiar with the way. And after Zhang Zhen, esteemed master, gave him the dazzling sun bead, he did not need to worry too much, and turned to leave. But at this time Xing Hui thought of his damaged, yang-devouring bead, and hurriedly asked, esteemed master, how can I exchange for this dazzling sun bead? There are not many dazzling sun beads in Tianqiong, and although its level is not high, it has the ability to repel fire, and is very valuable. Even in the heaven wasteland world, there are people who offer dozens of Tao rhythms. If you want to get a dazzling sun bead, in addition to having no less than 60 Tao rhythms, you also have to make contributions to Tianqiong. Make contributions to Tianqiong. Xing Hui nodded. After this cultivation is over, I will go into seclusion for 1 or 2 years, and then I will go to the punishment hall to receive a mission from Tianqiong to accumulate contributions. Well, it is not the first time that you have come to the core of the Great Sun, I will not say more. You be careful, I will come to find you in a month. Thank you, His Excellency. Xing Hui bowed to Zhang Zhen, esteemed master. After Zhang Zhen, esteemed master, left, Xing Hui gathered his thoughts, and immediately looked down at the divine beast golden crow that was bathed in the endless, Great Sun True Fire. The Great Sun True Fire was the most terrifying flame origin power in the world, and its power was incredible. If a cultivator wanted to really master the Great Sun True Fire, they often had to reach the divine realm. At that level, they could derive a divine ability that contained the power of the Great Sun True Fire. At that time, the flames could burn the sky and boil the sea, and could intimidate the world. Even many of the top powerful people with the lawful embodiment of heaven and earth, could not withstand it. This was also one of the reasons why the bloodline of the Golden Crow could be the most destructive and most respected in the world. Xing Hui sat on the core of the Great Sun, observing the countless, Great Sun God patterns, on the divine beast Golden Crow, and comprehending many of its mysteries. The 5th and 6th levels of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, which were originally incomplete, were quickly perfected, and the key parts that were originally vague and unclear were easily understood. The 2 levels of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique were constantly circulating in his mind, and the Great Sun Golden Crow technique in his body was also circulating, absorbing the essence of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique around his body and constantly replenishing himself. Under this kind of concentrated cultivation, Xing Hui's cultivation progressed very quickly. Even though the effect of the Great Sun Core technique decreased as his cultivation increased, but after a month, his Great Sun Jin Wu religion cultivation still reached the peak of the 5th level, reaching the same level as the Torch Sun Sutra. Especially when he personally witnessed the Great Sun True Fire rolling and surging in the Great Sun Core technique, he had a new understanding of the method of refining the eternal blazing sun. If it wasn't for the fact that he didn't want to miss the precious cultivation time of the Great Sun Core technique, he couldn't help but directly cultivate and try to condense an eternal blazing sun. A month has passed. Pak Hui, you should return. Your cultivation has increased too quickly, and if you continue to cultivate, you will face the crucial step of condensing a saint body. You can't be careless at this step. If you are careless, you will squander the foundation that you have worked so hard to build and only condense a saint battle body. At that time, it will be too late for you to regret. Therefore, even if you have the confidence to directly cultivate to the vision domain stage, suppress it and turn it into your foundation. Don't act rashly before you have absolute confidence. Esteemed Zhangzhen's figure appeared beside Xing Hui and saw through the problem that Xing Hui was facing. Esteemed Zhangzhen, don't worry. I understand. Before I have absolute confidence, I won't easily enter the vision domain stage. Xing Hui said. Alright, I will bring you away from the core of the great sun. As esteemed Zhangzhen spoke, he grabbed Xing Hui and brought him quickly through the sky dome realm. In the blink of an eye, they had already landed outside the book creation hall. This kind of method that was similar to traveling through the void was even faster than the flying speed of the rainbow transformation technique. Alright, activate the power of the golden blood immediately and return to the real world to consolidate the cultivation of this month. Yes. Xing Hui responded and activated the power of the golden blood. This chaotic body also left the chaos shrine. As he left the chaos shrine, the vast blazing power wrapped in the golden blood seemed to have passed through the barrier of space and directly merged with his body in the real world. In an instant, the cultivation of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique that was originally at the early stage of the blue netherworld realm began to rapidly break through. The dense and majestic blazing aura continuously dissipated from his body, once again causing the temperature in the cultivation room to rise sharply. The area within a radius of tens of meters was almost turned into a furnace of heaven and earth. At this moment, if there were cultivators who had not cultivated the protective aura to step into Xing Hui's cultivation room, there was no need for Xing Hui to make a move. The blazing power that filled the sealed space of the cultivation room was enough to burn them to ashes. Even if it was an expert who had cultivated the aura, their aura would probably be ignited. If they did not quickly retreat, it would be difficult for them to escape the fate of being burned to ashes. This was the tyrannical power of the Golden Crow True Qi. Compared to the Golden Crow True Qi, although the Torch Dragon was also called the Great Sun True God, it was far from being comparable to the Golden Crow True Qi in the path of destruction. Perhaps even if the Red Sun True Qi in the middle stage of the Blue Netherworld realm faced the Golden Crow True Qi in the early stage of the Blue Netherworld realm, the Golden Crow True Qi in the middle stage of the Blue Netherworld realm would have the advantage in the end. Chapter 292. The Great Sun Golden Crow technique has reached the pinnacle of the 5th level. My cultivation base has also reached the pinnacle of the Green Netherworld realm. I only need to spend some time polishing my true Qi to make it as pure as I wish. Then, I can use the power of the Golden Crow Soul Essence to try to condense the Golden Crow combat body and break through to the prominent divine stage. Xing Hui projected his consciousness into the Chaos Treasure Pavilion outside his personal space in the Chaos Temple. He communicated with the Chaos Treasure Pavilion and spent 100 Taoist rhymes to exchange for the Golden Crow Soul Essence. After exchanging the Golden Crow Soul Essence from the Chaos Treasure Pavilion, it lost the suppression of the Chaos Treasure Pavilion's ceiling wall. That mighty and blazing heat wave continued to spread out. Even though Tsing Hui had cultivated the Great Sun Golden Crow technique to the pinnacle of the 5th level, he could still feel the terrifying power that made him shudder. In particular, there was a remnant soul in the Golden Crow's soul essence. It seemed to be the shadow of a divine beast, the Golden Crow. When Tsing Hui was refining this item, he had to merge the Golden Crow divine soul in his spiritual world with the remnant soul. If he succeeded, the Golden Crow divine soul in his spiritual world would become more real and condensed. The derived Golden Crow combat body would also have more magical abilities. If he failed, his divine soul would be incinerated into ashes, and he would die. Fortunately, this Golden Crow's soul essence isn't at the saint stage like the Torch Dragon's blood. If I'm not mistaken, this Golden Crow's soul essence should only be at the 5th or 6th level of the saint stage. The divine beast's blood essence, soul essence, and essence core are usually divided into different levels. A saint stage Golden Crow's soul essence costs 100 Dao rhymes, but a saint stage Golden Crow's soul essence costs at least 300 Dao rhymes. Tsing Hui's eyes sparkled as he sensed the Golden Crow's soul essence that he had exchanged for. As soon as the Golden Crow's soul essence was exchanged, the terrifying heat contained within it had already turned the area within a radius of tens of kilometers into a fiery purgatory. Fortunately, his personal space was spacious enough. If it was only a Tier 1, Tier 2, or Tier 3 personal space, it would be impossible to store any ordinary items in this space. I have to refine it as soon as possible. Ching Su's personal space was at the 5th tier. It was 100,000 meters across, or 100 kilometers across. Right now, the power of the Golden Crow's soul essence made it so that nothing within 30 to 40 kilometers of his personal space could exist. Even though the personal space he could use was less than 10 kilometers, it would still be a problem if he kept the Golden Crow's soul essence. There is only a trace of the remnant soul of the Golden Crow in the Golden Crow's soul essence. With my spiritual power at the 73rd level, it won't be difficult to draw it out and integrate it into the divine soul of the Golden Crow that I created. Plus, I still have the chi of the primordial spirit, so this won't be a problem. The key is the power contained in the Golden Crow blood essence. Blood essence is different from blood. It's pure blood, so I can refine it directly. But the power in it is not inferior to the power of the blood of the divine stage Golden Crow. When I took the Torch Dragon blood, I had to supplement it with external items to neutralize it. The Golden Crow blood essence is much more domineering than the Torch Dragon blood. If I don't break it, I won't be able to refine it. Tsing Hui pondered for a while. He couldn't find a way. His good friends, esteemed Zhu Zhao and esteemed Zhongzhen, also didn't cultivate the Golden Crow bloodline. It seemed that, he had to rely on the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce to neutralize the medicinal power. In today's world, there were many people who cultivated the Golden Crow bloodline, and there were also many who refined the Golden Crow blood essence to increase their cultivation. Similar medicinal pills should be much easier to find than those that came with the Torch Dragon bloodline. Thinking of this, Tsing Hui directly escaped into the Chaos Temple, transformed into the appearance of the powerful Dong Yang, and contacted the president of the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce, Gong Xing. As the president of the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce and a public figure in the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce, he naturally didn't have to keep his identity in the real world a secret like ordinary sons of chaos. In the Chaos Temple, Gong Xing was still extremely respectful in front of Tsing Hui. Senior Dong Yang. What can I do for you in the Chaos Temple? I need to find a medicinal pill for one of my juniors to refine a drop of the Golden Crow blood essence of a peak-level saint. Do you have any recommendations? Gong Xing was puzzled. Didn't Senior Dong Yang's disciple awaken the Torch Dragon bloodline? Why was it the Great Sun Golden Crow bloodline now? But in order not to arouse the dissatisfaction of this powerful figure, he quickly said, the Golden Crow bloodline, the Kunping bloodline, and the Qilin bloodline are among the 3 most popular divine beast bloodlines among cultivators. There are many medicinal pills that can neutralize the Golden Crow blood essence. May I know what realm your junior is at now? Different realms will allow different medicinal pills to be consumed. Green Netherworld Realm. Green Netherworld Realm. Consuming the Golden Crow blood essence of a peak-level saint. No wonder he's a junior related to a powerful figure. He's rich and imposing. Gong Xing murmured enviously in his heart. But his brain quickly thought of an answer. If he's at the Green Netherworld Realm, the Falling Sun pill is the best choice. It's a 10th grade medicinal pill. Not only can it perfectly neutralize the power of the Golden Crow blood essence, it can also activate and purify one's Golden Crow vital energy. Its effects are extraordinary. The next best would be the Flame Destruction pill. It's more effective for neutralizing the Golden Crow blood essence, but it can't purify vital energy or disintegrate the impurities in it. How much are the Falling Sun pill and the Flame Destruction pill? Does the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce sell them? Medicinal pills often have the power of heaven and earth. The price is half a level higher than divine weapons. As a 10th grade medicinal pill, the Falling Sun pill is usually sold for around 25 Daoist rhymes. I can help you get a price of 22 Daoist rhymes at most. As for the Flame Destruction pill, it's a 9th grade medicinal pill. 6 Daoist rhymes is enough. 20 Daoist rhymes. Xing Hui had a total of 32 Daoist rhymes on him. But he had to leave behind 15 Daoist rhymes to repay his debt to Heaven Vault. He was 5 Daoist rhymes away from 22. Heaven Vault doesn't send anyone to Eastern Wilderness for trade for 3 to 5 years. I'm not in a hurry to get those 15 Daoist rhymes. I'll just use those to make up for it. In these 3 to 5 years, I'll make a few more trips on behalf of the Galaxy Chamber of Commerce. Then, I'll have enough Daoist rhymes. Xing Hui had already made up his mind. Prepare the Falling Sun pill for me. I'll go to Martial Desolation City in a month. Also, prepare the spiritual imprint of the last traitor for me. A month. Gong Xing was pleasantly surprised. The senior in front of him only needed a month to get through the weak phase. The incarnation technique was at least at the 2nd stage. Yes, I'll prepare it for you. I'll congratulate you at the branch in a month. Gong Xing bowed respectfully. Xing Hui nodded. After waiting for a while, he received the trader's spiritual imprint from Gong Xing and left the Chaos Temple. Then, he activated the incarnation technique and traveled 30 million kilometers through the trader's spiritual imprint. He landed on a medium-sized continent and completed the trade. Because he still had a lot of things to deal with, Xing Hui didn't want to be distracted and wander around this medium-sized continent after completing the trade. He returned directly to Moon Lake Island. No matter how prosperous a medium-sized island was, it couldn't be compared to Heaven Vault. This could be seen from the huge gap between Eastern Wilderness and Heaven Vault. I'll have to delay the use of the teleportation technique for another month. Xing Hui sat in his personal space and glanced at the interface of the Son of Chaos with a worried look on his face. In fact, the reason why he didn't want to use the teleportation technique for so long was because he had a lot of things to deal with. The most important thing was, he had no confidence. The greater the expectation, the greater the disappointment. He didn't know how he would face the result if he couldn't return to Earth even after using the teleportation technique. Failure meant that he could only pin his hopes on the vacuum crushing technique. The vacuum crushing technique was the 3rd level of the divine realm. It took him 5 to 6 years to cultivate to the 5th level of the immortality realm. If he wanted to cross the 6th level of the immortality realm, the 6th level of the saint realm, and the 3rd level of the divine realm, it would take more than a few years or decades. It took Dongqian 240 years to condense vital essence from the 1st level of the saint realm to the 1st level of the divine realm, the domain realm. It took a whole 700 years to reach the vacuum crushing technique from the domain realm. What about him? It was because of this mentality that he convinced himself time and time again that he had already waited for a few years. Why bother with a few more months? But, he had to face this problem in the end. With a sigh, Tsing Hui put away the many distracting thoughts in his mind and stopped thinking about it. No matter what, he had to take this step in a month. Sir. While Tsing Hui was silent, Ling Yu's figure suddenly appeared in his personal space. Tsing Hui glanced at Ling Yu and realized that he was in the public space of his personal space, which was the area used by the primordial trade union. Any son of chaos could freely enter and leave this area with a spell. Alliance Master, there's something I need to report to you. Ling Yu looked at Tsing Hui and hesitated for a moment before speaking carefully. What is it? It's about the Life Alliance's development in the East Sea. Golden Edge Island. Could it be that Golden Edge Island has become a hotspot? If there's really nothing we can do about it, we can just get the sea beasts to stir up a storm and completely destroy Golden Edge Island. Not Golden Edge Island, but the Creation Mystical Sect. The Creation Mystical Sect. Tsing Hui frowned, somewhat puzzled. What are the Creation Mystical Sect's people doing? Half a month ago, we detected traces of people from the Creation Mystical Sect. They were sneaking around our East Sea region and seemed to be up to something. Dozens of overseas cultivators who happened to stumble upon them were killed by them. However, the news spread. During this period of time, we have sent people to investigate in detail, trying to figure out the purpose of their infiltration into the East Sea. However, we have yet to obtain any useful information. The Creation Mystical Sect. A few years ago, the Creation Mystical Sect was defeated, and now they're making a comeback. Tsing Hui's mind was now focused on the teleportation technique. He wanted to see if the teleportation technique could return to Earth. The Life Alliance wouldn't make any big moves in the coming year, and even the matter of Golden Edge Island could be put aside for a while. Under such circumstances, he really didn't want to have a conflict with the Creation Mystical Sect. Send people to investigate carefully. If the Creation Mystical Sect is just playing some small tricks, you can deal with it. If they're up to something big, contact the Hunyuan Heaven Sect directly. I need to find a secret place to cultivate in seclusion and break through to the prominent saint stage. If I'm fast, it'll take a year, and if I'm slow, it'll take 2 years. If there's nothing else, don't disturb me during this time. Master is going to break through to the prominent saint stage. If Master can break through to the prominent saint stage, you'll definitely condense a divine-grade battle body. Once a divine-grade battle body is formed, there won't be many people in the world who can rival Master. Ling Yu's face immediately lit up with surprise. Moreover, her words weren't false. Once Tsing Hui broke through to the prominent saint stage and condensed a divine-grade battle body, coupled with the divine art to push his cultivation to the saint stage, he would receive an endless supply of energy. Let alone prominent saint stage experts, he would even be able to defeat first-tier saint stage experts. Apart from transcendent experts, no one would be able to resist Tsing Hui's sharpness. After all, no one in the entire eastern wilderness had heard of anyone who had condensed a divine-grade battle body. The number of transcendent second-layer saints in the eastern wastelands could be counted with 2 hands. By then, it would not be strange at all for the Qing Su Ruins battle prowess to enter the top 10 of the eastern wastelands rankings under the effects of the divine art. It's good that you understand the importance of this matter. If the Creation Mystical Sect really wants to attack the Life Alliance, it's fine to retreat for the time being. When I break through to the prominent saint stage and condense a divine-grade battle body, I'll be able to uproot Golden Edge Island and the Creation Mystical Sect's overseas forces. Yes, your subordinate obeys. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.